Allez, allez, allez. Who's this stranger? Yeah, back doing a watch along because I can now. Ha! Suck it, EFL. I'm abroad. You can't touch me. Same with Chads, who is in the good old US of A, wearing a fantastic goalkeeping top. Chad, how are you?
Oh no, man, that was some entrance there, Hal. You had me cracked up. Good to have you on the watch along. I'm doing well. How are you, sir, over in Cyprus?
Yeah, stressed, mate. Stressed big time. As you know, the coverage I've got on my telly not going the way we were hoping for. So
Yeah.
I've got a cricket game on. Need that to disappear. Sri Lanka, you're not going to win this game. Get out of it. Don't even try. Forget about it. Anyway, let us know where you are in the whole wide world, where you're watching. We've got Chad, who has been chatting with me before. We should have been prepping and talking about this game. Nah. Not a whisper of it.
Nope.
We have been talking about Detroit sporting franchises, and I've got to say, it was the best conversation I've had all week.
Yeah, I mean, that's saying something when you bring up Detroit's franchises. I mean, it hasn't been relevant since about 2017, but yeah, we brought up the topic of the World Series last night. So yeah,
Baseball, yeah. I mean, if Nick was here, he'd instantly be removing both of us from this live broadcast because he could not care less. So, or actually, as you guys say, we say we could not care less. You say I could care less, right?
Yes, could care. Yeah, could care less. Yeah.
Explain that to me. How does that make sense?
I don't know. I could care less. I could care less. I don't know.
I could care less. So at the moment, I care very little. But from what you're saying, I could care even less.
Yes. Yeah. So
whereas
right
what
now,
we're saying is we're already at the bottom. We couldn't care any less.
Yes.
We can't. We've got no wiggle room, so ours makes sense.
Yeah, it's true. There's that a little bit of room to move for us.
It's like when you're eating a meal and you say, you know, what you're giving this out of 10.
Yeah.
And someone goes 10, like you're an idiot. Now you can never have a better meal. This is the best. You've got wiggle room. Okay, right then. Yeah. Halloumi, I like that. Halloumi is, Chad, I don't know if you know this, halloumi is a Cypriot cheese.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
So that's you know what that is? It's good humour. We've got Blake saying, off to my local game today, but hoping a win for the Blades. Need this poor run to end. What time is kickoff? Thomas, do you think we're actually going to be talking about football today? It is kicking off in around about 20 minutes time. Chad, what time is it for you, my friend?
It is 3 minutes past 7 currently in the morning, a.m.
And you've been up since
5 a.m. So about 2 hours now. Yeah. I'm just yearning for some Blades football. Come on.
Yeah. Let me know in the comments if I'm too loud, by the way. I've been using this microphone for other stuff where I had to turn the volume right up. So let me know if I'm way louder than Chad and I can sort that out. No problem. So we're going to give a shout out to our members down below. Each and every one of you keeping the lights on, although not that many by the looks of mine, here at Sheffield United Way Towers. Lovely to hear that there are people who are probably, Thomas, quite glad that this is an earlier kickoff. It's a 12:30 UK time kickoff, which of course in Oz makes things a little bit easier. Thomas might also be having the nightmare scenario that I'm having with the ruddy T20 World Cup, which I love, by the way, but it's on now and I need it not to be. So get that off my telly. Yeah, let us know exactly where you are. I accidentally wrote that joke on the official Sheffield United channel before realizing I joined the wrong place. See, it's fine. It's good. It's still good humor. The official Sheffield United channel, they hate me. So I'm really glad that that's happened. Scott, feel like Hecky is slowly becoming like Southgate. He clearly has his favourites because for me, Bash and Fleck shouldn't start on recent form. Seems like Hecky's gone more defensive than going for it. You know what? Clearly, people want to talk about the actual game, Chad, which I've got to say is very disappointing. So with that in mind, let's talk about the sides, which I want to say Chad has amazingly, very kindly written out the team for us today. Thank you, mate. Talk us through it.
Yeah, well, I mean, Servant still hold on. League One West still on the bench. So we got Davo, who had if you watch the Norwich game, you got to think, did he have a good game? Did he have a bad game? And then we got our, I guess this is our best back line. Baldock, Bash, Egan, Ahmed Hazic, and Osborne. Osborne, filling in for what sounds like going to be a long time because R&D is probably going to be out till after the World Cup with that hamstring injury. Then we got Doyle, Norwood, a little question mark with Fleck in there. And then our normal suspects up front and Dye and McBurney. I like the lineup. The only question mark I have is why is Fleck in there?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I don't think Fleck has done enough, even when he was fully fit, to come back into this. You've got to say that the form of Doyle, when the question was Doyle or Fleck, which it appeared to be last game, would always be Doyle. Brewster, difficult for him. I feel like he scores a goal, he gets dropped. We're trying to build his confidence up. That, for me, doesn't help. And maybe it's a switch in formation slightly that would be required to get McBurney and Dye and Brewster all in there. And actually, the way we've been playing, the poor form since I left the country, a switch of formation is, in my opinion, exactly what is needed. Also, Kadra, I think he's ideal for away games.
Mm-hmm.
That burst of pace, over the top. He worked really well for Blackburn in a 3 up front.
Yeah.
Would be very interesting to see Kadra, McBurney and Dye in a 3. Wow. Can you imagine what defenses, particularly the likes of West Brom, would make of that? And Chad, here is that Baggies team. I don't want to put you on the spot, but tell me everything about every player.
Well, his name's scrolling across the bottom. I know Jed Wallace is going to score a goal against us today. But, this West Brom side has been so underperforming. Everybody at the beginning of the season, besides Middlesbrough, is West Brom the other side that has been so underwhelming coming into this game? And, I don't know. I was texting with Noah last night. I said, I don't know how this is going to go. Is it going to be a West Brom that, we should probably handle because they're a bit of a mess right now? Or is this going to be a West Brom that's just going to, beat us because they got the new manager bounce and Carlos Cobran coming in this week? Is he going to have long enough to, instill his tactics and his formations in their side and they're going to come out and beat us? I don't know. This game right now, to me, is a giant question mark.
This lineup for West Brom, there's another big question mark, is how they're actually lining up. To me, it looks like a 3-4-2-1. So that would be Alex Palmer in goal, Furlong, O'Shea, and Peters, with Matt Phillips on the right, Connor Townsend on the left, Gardner Hickman and Jake Livermore in the middle, Jed Wallace, Dean Nagana in attacking midfield, and Carlin Grant up front, I think.
That's everything I can find right now. 3-4-2-1. Yeah, that's the lineup. It looks like what I have on my phone right here, but
That'll do.
I don't know. I don't know. This should be in, based on our form, I shouldn't feel this confident, but I almost feel like we should win this game. West Brom have been a shambles.
Yeah, but like you said, Carlos Corberan's come in, new manager bounce. Sheffield United never beat a Huddersfield team managed by Carlos Corberan. Apparently, he's got that kind of Neil Warnock way of motivating players, and sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah, man, I really hope we need to turn it around. We need to turn it around.
Keen Brian, thoughts, brackets, feelings.
Hey, whatever. He thought he was going. He thought he was going to a team that was going to go up and go on to better and better things. And no.
Well, he said he'd play for a team that would get out of the Championship, and to be honest, it looks like it might happen, but the other way with West Brom. Poor guy as well. He has been injured for quite a long time. I had a whole skit that I used to do on this channel about Keen Brian with Jack Rodwell, because they were both kind of injured all the time. And all it basically required, and Nick found it funny, so I carried on doing it, was me shouting Keen's name randomly and very loudly, and just Keen! I don't know why, but Nick liked it, so carried on doing it.
Yeah, it's tough. I'm glad he's gone, because I remember when everybody wanted to, he had that, spell of 3 or 4 games where he was an absolute world beater, and everybody's like, "Oh, we got to sign him." And then we let him go, and everybody's like, "Oh no, we let him go." And yeah, not really.
I'm not
missing him.
sure everybody was. We've got to sign him, but all right, that's you know what, the history books will tell different stories.
Yeah.
So, Chad, let's get your score prediction, which from regular listeners, you know, as I am, to the Red Half of Sheffield podcast. Check that out. I kind of already know your thoughts, but there might be people watching who have not yet discovered the oracle that is Chad on audio form.
So I tend to do this from time to time, and I think on the pod I predicted like a 1-0 win. But see, I have time from when we record that to, thinking about it through the week, and I think I'm gonna go 2-0 Blades. I think just 2-0. Davo has to get us off. He has to put in a good shift today, and he has to make some key saves, and he keeps a clean sheet.
Okay, I'd love to see it. I think personally you're reading comics, but it's your opinion. On the match preview, which looked a little something like this. I was chatting to Nick, that's his name, just forgot it for a moment, about what I thought would happen. And I think that the new manager bounce is going to be too great. I also think on the road we're not as strong. In fact, we're just not as strong at all. Was it 7 games now? I mean, since the Preston North End match away from home, we've just not looked like Sheffield United. Where are Sheffield United? Someone please put out a search warrant and find my Sheffield United, because it has not been seen since Preston. And even at Preston, there were times when I was thinking, we're not playing that well here. And, a chance either side could have gone differently. But do you know what? That Reading game at home, that was the team. That was the side of everyone fit. That Reading match at home where I went, this is my Blades. This is the side that actually wins the league quite confidently. And then since then, injuries. And I don't know what is causing the injuries. Have you got any theories as to why we are getting so many?
I don't know. People, the normal, let's blame Shirecliffe, the training pitch, that. I just think it's the fixture congestion leading up to the World Cup. It felt like we had to jam so many of those fixtures in before the last international break. And it was, it was piling up. And we had to keep these players going. And I think it's just match fatigue. I think it's almost going to do, going into the season, I was like, oh, God, we're going to have to sit through the World Cup, miss about a month. I'm thinking this is going to work out well for us. And because I've said this prior, to me, honestly, I don't think the season really begins until after the World Cup, because we only have one break from January or from Boxing Day to the end of the season. I think there's only one international break. So that's when the cream's going to rise to the top of who's going to, be bossing this league. So, because even look at Norwich. Norwich was supposed to have 500 points and run away with the league once they went top. And look, they're in worse form than we are. They lost midweek against Burnley. So anybody can struggle in this league. And that's why I love this league compared to any other league in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a fascinating league, the Championship. The same team never wins it twice, 2 seasons in a row. The Blades team, Davis, Baldock, Basham, Egan, Ahmed Hodzic, that man Ben Osborne, my favourite player, Doyle, Norwood, Fleck, Skillyman and Dye, and Ollie McBurney up top. On your bench for United, would you now get that reference?
Yes,
having watched When Saturday Comes. It's a fabulous episode of Red Half of Sheffield where Chad and Noah review When Saturday Comes, which the movie with Sean Bean. Even if you only listen to one episode, listen to that one.
Yeah.
If for nothing else, the pronunciation of Pete Postlethwaite's name is something to behold, because apart from Pete, nothing else in there was correct.
No.
Also, the West Brom team, Alex Palmer in goal, Furlong, Townsend, O'Shea, Livermore, Phillips, Dean and Nagana, Peters, Wallace, Carlin Grant, Gardner Hickman. On the bench, they've got Button, Malombi, Kelly, Swift, Reach, Thomas Asante, and Yakuslu.
Yeah, Yakuslu, I think.
Thank you, Chad. Yeah, said the same thing as me. That's good enough.
I was trying to sound it out when I was typing it in.
I listened to you on the podcast when Noah sometimes isn't quite sure of a pronunciation, and I know how to say it,
Yeah.
and then so Noah says it wrong, and then I listen to you say it wrong, but reaffirm him.
We just got to make sure both parties don't know what we're saying.
Yeah, but you always say it with confidence,
Yeah.
and I like that.
Exactly.
I can imagine you'd be brilliant in a job interview.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't have a clue what you were talking about. Oh yeah, concentrated management systems. I wrote the book, mate.
Exactly. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. 100%.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay. I don't get people's reactions to Osborne, Oliver says. He was great last season, but people have slated him this season, thought he was great last match. He was certainly good second half last match. Wasn't fantastic first half. He was really good last season when he was playing, bizarrely, as a kind of left winger, really far forward under Slav, and then Hecky doesn't fancy him quite so much. What are your thoughts on Osborne?
I mean, I echo the same thing you kind of said. Last week, first half, he was absolutely awful. Chat Row was, clamoring for him to come off at halftime, and I was too. And then he went and got the goal in the second half, and it was like, oh my God, everybody fell back in love with him. It's just, I like him. He's not my favorite player, as you said earlier. He's your favorite player, but I'm a fan of him. I think he's good in situations. He's a spark plug because I liked him more in a role coming off of the bench. Because if we needed a spark, it was like we almost plugged in the Energizer Bunny, and here he comes running down the wing, crossing, putting the ball into dangerous areas and making things happen. So I mean, I'm a fan of him.
He's funny. I like him. I've always liked left-footed, short players because that's me.
Yeah.
So I can relate, and I always used to try really hard, even though I wasn't very good at football. Let's take a quick moment to shout out our sponsors of this channel, Parrot Peel, Stick or Twist, new album, well worth a check out. If you have just joined us, Chad is much more confident than I am. He has many reasons to be positive. We are also at the moment doing a brilliant giveaway. Chad, have you seen this? We're giving away a free Sheffield United shirt. And it's very, very easy to win. One random winner will win a Blade shirt of their choice. So you could have anyone that you like. All you have to do is subscribe to us on YouTube if you haven't already. It's free to do that, by the way. Follow us on Twitter and retweet our pinned tweet. Now, we're not far away from our goal. We want 8,000 followers on our Twitter. And we want, 16,000 followers on YouTube. So, yeah, if you could help make that happen, you could win a Sheffield United's shirt, which is, the team we support. So that's good. Yeah. Nice long from me. I sort of thought we'd have a bit more of a conversation at the end of that chat, but that's fine.
I think I've already retweeted it. If not, I'm going to get on it. I'm going to do it right now. If I haven't, I am pulling up the Sheff United way.
I think I've already retweeted it. You are watching a man live retweet. That's why you tune in for these.
I am retweeting it as right now. It is retweeted.
The bigger story is Chad hadn't done it. You come for the watch along. You stick around for Chad pressing buttons on his phone. It's all happening. But yeah, please do that if you haven't already. At Sheff United Way, you just had a brief moment of me turning from a small boy to a teenager. It's very hot where I am. It's 29 degrees. Chad and I were discussing Celsius and Fahrenheit, rather confusing before. Let's see, more questions coming through. How would one acquire a Bericcione shirt? Chad, what the hell is that?
I have absolutely no idea. Not one idea.
Chateau-Roux, isn't it? Yeah, I got given a Chateau-Roux shirt by the club, and they sent me a lovely letter for all my wonderful work that I do for Chateau-Roux. Such good work, in fact, I didn't even know that was their name.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. I was like, I
just quickly Googled it. We're going to put the teams on screen again. It was interesting to see Nick's predicted lineup. He didn't get this one right. He has been spot on week after week. My predictions have been spot on week after week. I hope I'm wrong today because I have said, unfortunately, I think the new manager bounce with Carlos Corberán coming in for the Baggies will be too much for the Blades to get over. It's a quirk. It's a weird quirk of football. It doesn't happen so much, does it, in the States?
No, it doesn't. It's kind of, if you change a manager in your team, you kind of keep going on the same trajectory you were going. It's not like it it's not like it has a blip where you're like, oh, we turn form around and go up. No, it's just you kind of keep going down, down, down and get worse. I
Or
don't
up,
know.
up if you were already doing well. You look at some team like the Green Bay Packers, replace Mike McCarthy with Matt LaFleur, and it's still the same.
Yeah, exactly. Even Keel, I mean, it's not really changed any much. Yeah. So it is different. Now that you mentioned it, I really haven't thought about that, too much. It's really weird how in England the manager bounce changes everything, and over here it kind of either stays the same or just go down.
Another thing I noticed in the States is the home and away thing isn't as big. You can go like last night. We were talk about the World Series game 1. The Phillies go to Houston and win, and that would be huge in a football match. To go to the best team's home ground to be the equivalent of 3-0 down, and to end up beating them 4-3 away from home. It just wouldn't happen. Realistically, it very rarely anyway. Happen. So it's totally different in American sport, and that's why American sport is better.
Oh wow, we have we have contradicting ideas here. I mean, I
don't mean that at all.
I was about to say,
no, football is my favorite sport by a million miles, and I worked this out the other day. My wife pointed out to me I haven't missed following a Sheffield United game since 1997.
Wow.
So that means like on the radio, on the internet, or at the game, or on telly. I've not missed it. I've always followed it in some way. No matter where I've been, I've found a way. So, that's something I want to continue doing.
As sporting fans as a whole, if you're diehard about your team, you will go to the ends of the earth to, find a way to follow it, watch it, listen to it, however you can do it.
Yep, and I have literally been to the ends of the earth, Scunthorpe and Afghanistan. Let us know where in the world you are actually viewing this from. It'd be great to give you a shout out. We got myself, Hal, here with you for the entirety, and Chad. The nerves I am feeling right now are not for the game. It's for the fact that the coverage I'm taking here in Cyprus on telly at the moment has a cricket game on, no sign of the football, and oh boy.
Oh, that's not gonna be good. Oh boy. Well, I mean, hopefully it finishes up. Any signs of it finishing?
Yeah, they need to take one more wicket. Someone take a wicket and we could lose this. But hey, we'll see what happens. Worst case scenario, we will be slightly delayed from my side, but don't worry, Chad will keep you posted. Noah, of course, not here today. Where is Noah? What's he doing? What's his excuse?
It's probably about 4:23 in the morning there.
Yeah, good shout. Good shout. Yeah. That is a really good point. Now, what we're going to do for the watch along, if you never joined us for it before, is we do not provide you, although we can, legally we can't, we do not provide you with the footage of the game. You watch it on your telly or your internet provider, legally, of course, having paid for the game. And then we commentate with your alternative biased Blades commentary. For the first time ever, doing this with Chad, but looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun time, and if you've caught any of the watch-along highlights or any of these watch-alongs before, since I've started doing them, my goal for and against reactions are what people stick around for, because I get so into it. They're the stuff
of legend. They are the stuff of legends, absolutely. Chad is well worth a watch. By the way, is your full name Chadwin?
No,
just Chad.
You're like if I had a nickel for every time somebody asked me that, is your name Chadwick? No, my parents just named me Chad. That was it.
By the way, I've never been so happy to see New Zealand win a game of cricket. So that looks like my football coverage is going to begin. New Zealand have beaten Sri Lanka by 65 runs. Sorry, Sri Lanka. It was never going to happen. I've got a good friend, Mark, as well, who supports Sri Lanka. He won't be watching this. There's no point in mentioning it. So that means we are going to be on time to do this. Now, realistically, the annoying thing with watch-alongs is that one of us is bound to be ahead of the other, which is just so frustrating, and there's very, very little we can do about it. I will now most likely be as close to as if I was at the ground as possible. I'm taking a satellite feed, which is bang on live. Chad, hopefully you're exactly the same time as me, because I can't pause this. So let's see what happens. I'm going to keep fingers crossed. I don't want to be ahead of you because I always think that's really mean, kind of unfair, and not as enjoyable an experience for whomever is behind. So hopefully, I mean, the best way to do this, obviously, would be to fly Chad to Cyprus
Yes.
and get him sat next to me. And then, I mean, but we don't quite have the budget, seeing as Chad and I are doing this entirely for free. The thought of then spending quite a lot, as much as you'd be welcome, Chad.
Yeah.
You know, the Mikasa, Su Casa.
Exactly. I mean, I would love to do it, but yeah, we're just not swimming in the money, as you say. So,
and that brings me on to a great point. If you'd like to do a super chat, that would really help the channel. We haven't had any of them for ages, so that'd be great. Genuine question: if we lose today, how long do you think Hecky will be in charge? I mean, first of all, I know about the 5-year contract. I mean, it's 5 years, but
really, is it?
It's football. There's always a way out, and it's a 5-year contract, which I would imagine has been written in the club's favour. Let's put it that way. What's Adrian saying? Hal, why didn't you just take a skybox to Cyprus? Well, I've got free TV here provided by my company, which has got more channels than Sky. Hence why I'm going to be able to watch the game. But
there you go.
One of the channels, let's just put it this way, Adrian, they don't prioritise Sheffield United games. Okay, so the T20 World Cup has taken priority from, I would imagine, the majority of people that get this service. So I'm lucky that I can watch all the Sheffield United games. And actually, to be honest, it's a free service. It's a free service provided by my company. I'm not going to take an illegal skybox to Cyprus, but a great suggestion nonetheless. Sean Dyche, I was outside eating gravel. I don't think Sean Dyche is going to be interested. I think he's waiting for a Prem job. I mean, the fact that the man has waited this long, he's also swimming in cash. Mm-hmm. He doesn't need it. Heck, he's not going anywhere. I mean, even if it, he's not going to be sacked. He's just not going to be sacked.
I don't see it. I don't see it at all. And why would we want Sean Dyche smoking heaters on the touchline? No.
Scott's right, though. We have to get promotion, but these are injuries is the reason.
Yeah.
Injuries. And unless you can concretely prove that Hecky has caused these injuries, then it's not his fault. And a full-strength blade side, I believe, under Paul Heckingbottom, wins the championship. As I was saying, that team against Reading is a side, if we could keep that side all season, we're top of the league.
Yeah, I mean, question. it's not like Hecky showing up to training with a baseball bat and throwing stuff at the players and tripping them up. Like, no.
Again, Chad, unless you can concretely prove he's not doing that.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
You see, we got it at both sides. It's our old friend Billy Balance. We brought him back into the equation. We don't know. We're not at training, so we can't possibly comment. But I don't think there's any chance that it's Hecky going. And Noah agrees, 100%. It's down to injuries. What has got Didsy de Goat, good name. Hecky is going to be amazing. The problem is, if we go up, I reckon we need to get someone else other than Hecky.
No. I'll stick with him. I'll ride with him right now.
Yeah, you're right though, Oliver. It is football. We are meant to be reactionary. We're absolutely meant to throw our toys out of the pram. Let's just see. That's why I'm saying New Year. I don't know. I mean, the break for the World Cup will probably help us. Maybe get a few players back. It's a real gutter. What are your thoughts on RND missing the World Cup? They only come around every 4 years, and who knows if Wales will be there next time.
Yeah, that's one thing. He was primed to get a spot in that side. I mean, I hate it for him because he's been one of our best players all season. He's like a Swiss Army knife. You can throw him in any position on the pitch, and he can play his absolute best. So it sucks he's going to miss out, man. Because we were what when he went down there, we had about 8 games until the World Cup. Now he's going to be out. It's
awful.
That sucks.
Really gutted for him. You're right though to say that he's been one of our better players. Chad, just before we start, we've got the team running along the bottom. The game will kick off very, very soon. We've also got the West Brom team running along the bottom. I am nervously awaiting the match leaping on my screen. Keep me posted with how it's looking on yours.
I have the match on right now. The teams are getting sorted. They're showing Carlos Colbran.
The fact that it hasn't started is all I need. So we will let you know.
He walked over to Hecky and just cheap shotted him, and Hecky's laying on the
floor. Good. I've got official coverage, literally just beginning. Nothing like keeping you on the edge of your seat with seconds before kickoff. This is going to be more exciting than the game.
Yep.
Will Hal get his coverage in time? It's scenes like this that mean you come to Sheffield United Way. You could watch the official channel because, you know, they do it much better. But you could watch this because this is raw. It's real. It's two fans who live, die, and breathe, who've never lived in Sheffield. The Sheffield United Way. There we go.
Yep,
that's how to sell it.
Exactly.
I'm going to let you know when it kicks off on my screen, and you'll know because I'll hit the clock in the top right, and hopefully we will be on the same kind of time. This is the Sheffield United Way. This is our watch along. My name is Hal. Chad to my left. We will be providing biased Blades commentary on this one at the Hawthorns, which we've already been to once this season in the League Cup. And the game is on Sky Sports main event. And I am officially underway in the hope that you're also going to say you are as well.
I'm still taking the West Brom players are just taking the knee for me.
It's beautiful stuff. So I'm going to be slightly ahead. Nothing we can do. But if you are just joining, this is where the clock is. And it's exactly synced with real time. 0-0 at the Hawthorns. I went to the game at the Hawthorns earlier in the League Cup. It was an absolutely boiling night. Ridiculously hot. I saw guys wearing basketball tops. I've never been to a football match and seen men in England wearing basketball tops. I only own a few. I've got Seattle Supersonics because the Sonics were my team. Mm-hmm. And then when they disbanded, I'm the only person in the world who then started supporting the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Really? Wow. Yeah. That is a stretch there. Wow, that is quite a reach.
Well, I'm not from Seattle. I had no ties. You know, I'm allowed to. But people from Seattle would not appreciate what I've just said. Right, let's get you up to speed with what's happening with the action. West Brom are attacking towards the right-hand side. So Sheffield United kicking from right to left. They will be attacking the end where I believe the West Brom fans are housed. And I think the West Brom are attacking where the away fans are, if I've got it set. Yeah, that's correct. So exactly as it was the last time we played in the league, which was a horrific game with Michael Verrips in goal, which we all remember. And one of the danger men was Darnell Furlong, Paul Furlong's son, and his long throws. Now we're a minute 40 into this one, and Furlong's already got that first throw and an opportunity to cause a bit of havoc with that long throw into the box, cleared by United, better than we did in that Verrips game. And already we're seeing signs that perhaps Carlos Corberán is going to utilize some of the strengths of this West Brom team, of which we know set pieces has always been one of them, Chad.
And that's scary. I don't like when these new managers come in and, you know, he's only had a few days to install his tactics, but you know, it's like the previous manager. It was like Steve Bruce just quit using what, you know, was good about the sides, and the new manager's like, why do we go away from this? We're going to do this. And that's what scares me.
Hal, where do you actually live? Cyprus. Good. 0-0. It's 2:35 on the clock. Blades looking to try and launch their first meaningful possession, and that's instantly given away. Can't get a couple of passes together, Sheffield United, and it's disappointing to see that it's going to be, certainly from the outset early on, perhaps a game where West Brom are going to try and launch it and use set pieces, which is what they did in that 4-0. I want to see a bit more passing, but the Blades also reverting now to long ball as well. Let's get that ball on the deck. Let's try and pass and move, because, Chad, you'll see Sheffield United, whenever been in possession so far, giving it away.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. And it seems like it's been the last few games where we have had, just like last week against Norwich, we couldn't string a couple passes together in the first half to save our lives. If we just get about 4 or 5 and you know, get ahead on our passes, we'll be fine. But I don't like lumping it forward to McBurney, him heading it down and it trying to get on the end of someone's foot.
What do you think of this one from Scott? Is Doyle playing the Berger role? Let's keep an eye on that. But your thoughts, Chad, early on? Hard to tell, isn't it?
It's hard to tell this early into the game. He's certainly on my coverage. He's on the ball now, working into the box.
Yeah, but that's on that right-hand side. And obviously Berger likes to get on that right-hand side when he can. Yeah, and I think something that we've seen from Sander is he's really good getting his head down, pushing forward on that right-hand side. I remember the first time I really saw him do that was Dundee United in a pre-season waterlogged friendly, which actually abandoned there was that many waterhogs on the pitch. But he really did get his head down, knock it past defenders and run. Something he can do. When Sander gets control of the game and uses his strength, he can really be imposing. Let's see if Doyle is going to be doing more and more of that as the game progresses. I've said it before, I'll say it again because I haven't done a watch along yet this season. The names and numbers on the back of the shirts for the Blades are a mess. You cannot read them, and it's the same for West Brom. I'm not saying I want the no stripes. I like the stripes, but there's a different way of doing it. And we'll get onto that another time because now Ahmed Hodzic on that right-hand side looking to try and get things moving, and the ball is passed straight into touch. This is reminiscent of what we saw at home against Norwich, where the passing, particularly for Ben Osborne, first half was a shocker. Also, I'm trying to work out if Ollie McBurney's actually wearing shin pads. It looks like if he is, he's wearing the thinnest shin pads the world has ever seen.
Yeah. They're probably only about that bit. Yeah, they're showing it now. Yeah, it doesn't look like he is.
It's crazy, isn't it? Why you would? Well, you have to be wearing shin pads. It's one of the things referees will check before a game. That's a misplaced pass from Alex Palmer, the West Brom keeper. Perhaps Sheffield United's first meaningful attack will come from a West Brom error. Although I have to say, West Brom players getting back very, very quickly, and the Blades from a promising position have already ended up back in their own half. With that, Ahmed Hodzic started slowly and just loses possession, wins it back after that misplaced pass. Perhaps needs a little bit of a burst of confidence coming back from a long layoff, which we haven't appreciated at all. He's been absolutely fantastic this season. No question of that, Chad. Probably one of our players of the season.
Yeah, I would be in agreement with you there. I mean, for what we paid for him, and just who would have known he would have been this good in this side this early? And he looks like he's been here, longer than just this season.
Yeah, Ollie McBurney trying to work something onto the edge of the box. A little bit of a shot on the edge where leaning back, Oliver Norwood on 6 minutes on his right foot, sees it, fires it over, high, wide, and not particularly handsome. And this is already perhaps not a game for the neutral. And it is on Sky in the UK, so it's quite literally a game for the neutral. But if you are just joining us, rather frustratingly, we were talking before, Chad and I, about how I would almost certainly be in a massive delay. And in reality, Chad is the one in the slight delay, and I'm very sorry about that. And if I could pause my TV, I would, mate, and I'd get us level. But it's not that fancy a telly.
It's all good. You guys, if and when we score, you will see a delayed reaction, but I will temper my celebrations.
A delayed reaction.
A delayed reaction, and I will show my celebrations like I do every time.
No, what you're going to say there. I will show myself. As is his wont. We're doing the wrong game because Bristol City have already scored against Swansea City in the City match. Here's a chance for West Bromwich Albion on this right-hand side with a ball looking to be burst into the box with defenders back for the Blades. Managed to get that away. It's Super Ben Osborne. Lovely little haircut that he's got going on there. Looks a bit like a Peaky Blinder.
Is he channeling his inner Peaky Blinder?
If he is, it's worked because he's done really well between both he and Egan, I believe it was, to get back there and stop Grant from getting that ball across. And actually, Ahmed Hodzic as well as Egan also back there as well. So all of them got back. Looking promising. Matt Phillips, very dangerous player as well, former Blades loanee, who scored 5 goals in 6 games during his time at Bramall.
I thought Ozzy was going to clear it right into the trailing Jed Wallace, and he was going to slam it home because when he cleared it across, I was like, oh no, he's going to clear it to Jed Wallace. He's going to finish it.
You're worried about Jed. I mean, I was worried about Swift, and he's on the bench, but you're worried about Jed Wallace, aren't you, Chad?
He always seems to score, whether it's a Millwall shirt or a baggy shirt. He's probably going to net 1 goal against us.
Yeah. Question here from Adrian. Who's meant to be tracking last man for West Brom on that attack? To be honest, and I don't like to say it, but that Phillips is probably going to be up against that boy Ben Osborne for most of this game. Any new manager bounce apparent? Great question, actually, Matt. Chad, I would say, from my point of view, this is a game that's been hard to pinpoint either side implementing a new style. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that. It's almost like a feeling out process right now in the first 9 minutes. I mean, I could honestly, how this game has started, I could see it finishing a bland 0-0 because new manager bounce, still West Brom still feeling it out and us having a bad run of form. But, I think this game's going to open up probably about 20, 25 minutes. Once the first actual shot on target by either one of these sides, that's when the game's going to open up.
Will it come now? It's a bit scrappy. It's a bit messy. Some of the passing isn't that crisp, but the Blades trying to launch some semblance of possession followed by an attack. It's a weak cross that's trying to get into the box on that right-hand side. We're trying to ascertain if Doyle is operating in that Sanderberge role. There you go, Noah, just for you. And that man, Ben Osborne, is up against the big unit now of Matt Phillips. He's put on a bit of timber since he was a young loanee at beautiful downtown Bramall Lane. He's definitely put some muscle on, whatever his regime is. I need it. Or Baldock wide open. Yeah, you're right. On the other side, absolutely. I think we're going to find that Baldock and Anel will interchange because Baldock's going to get forward constantly. You know what he's like. He just can't cross. Really frustrating. Yep. That's what Bogle's got over him. Ball into the box for the Blades. Chance for Ollie McBurney. Misses it. Here's Ellie Manadai! We have an opening goal after 10 minutes. Illyman, Skillyman, and I will always love you.
I am delayed, but we are in 1-0 Blades. Let's go. Come on.
He is delayed, but it was a great ball worked originally on that left-hand side. It was Oliver Norwood with that ping, finding that ball over the top, crossed in, completely missed and swiped by Ollie McBurney. But that man on the penalty spot just tidying things up by really not being able to miss, could he, Chad?
No, he took a shot. Ollie McBurney missed, he kind of whiffed on it, the whiff, and then Ndai fell right to him, and he just slammed it home.
The whiff.
The whip.
I need to hear that again many times. But yeah, that's a great way to start. Carlos Corberan wearing a gilet, which you don't see enough of in modern men's fashion. Maybe this is why, because at the moment he's a loser.
He's a loser. Well,
what do we make of that then, Blades? In the comments, get in and die, my Senegalese star boy. I remember one of the weirdest arguments I got into on Twitter, which, by the way, is a cesspit that I hate, was with a Blade who claimed that Iliman Ndiaye was French. And I said that myself and Iliman had been in conversation, and he had said he was going to choose to represent Senegal. I simply passed that information on.
Yeah.
What followed was a diatribe of insults towards me. No idea why, still to this day, why someone would be so annoyed at that. Anyway, that's by the by. We're in happier times now, 12 minutes into this game, and the Blades have the lead. Iliman Ndiaye on 10 minutes, couldn't miss, had the whole of that right-hand side of the goal, of Alex Palmer's goal to aim at, picked his spot, and that's the start we needed.
Yeah, it is, because it's been so much this season. If we've got out to an early goal, it's brought the opposing team further up the pitch because they're pressing. They want to get a goal now, And this honestly could get out of hand. If we play like we did at the beginning of the season, we could pot 3 or 4 past these guys, because if they get to pressing and we are working the ball in good space and we're already clearly more creative than we have been in the last few games, we could get a bunch of goals today.
You're not wrong. And actually, it's a terrible one because West Brom, I'm saying if you're a West Brom fan, it's a terrible one. They would be seriously worrying that they've got to win this game. I mean, they're in, 23rd position? So they're going to cut. This actually works perfectly, Chad, for United, because they're going to come out at us now, and the Blades can now play the way that we often have played against us.
Yeah.
hit on the break, ball over the top. It's second half, a match for your pacey players, your Rida Cadras. But, we will absolutely see what happens.
Yeah,
Subsplice.
I hope we go on and win this comfortably, because I don't want to. As fun as the Blackpool game was to do a watch along, and the Norwich game to do a watch along was, I like when my nerves are more calm.
Yeah.
More calm. I don't like to be, because I often say on this, I'm like a duck right now. I look calm here, but my legs underneath the water are just bouncing, going absolutely insane.
Well, in terms of nerves, are you one of those people like me that's more nervous once Sheffield United have the lead?
Yes, yes, yes. Because I'm always, I always look at it where, okay, we're in the lead, we're playing good, but at some point they're gonna get a goal, they'll get another goal, and we'll lose.
Yeah.
You know.
How do you see the rest of this game shaping up? Do you agree about this will work into the Blades' favour of being able now to hit West Brom on the break because they have to, because of their 23rd league position, they have to go for this?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, if West Brom just want to sit back and defend being down one, and try and play on the counter, I mean, we'll soak up all the possession, but and hope we make an error. But I don't really see us doing that. So I think West Brom's going to come out, and then we're going to have to play on the counter. But the whole thing is do we play on the counter? Because we are a possession team too.
We are.
So
We
it's
absolutely are.
It's
How will
kind
this
of one
exactly?
another.
That's why I'm asking. How will this end up playing out? At the moment, West Brom, you can almost. We've got the sound off here, but you can almost hear the nerves. You can sense the tension. This is a fan base that have. I was reading some of the comments. Roy does a wonderful job with Roy's view from the opposition. A lot of them didn't even want to go to this game. They're nervous, but they're also fed up of watching rubbish football. Here's a ball pumped into the box following a corner. It's going to be switched in from that right-hand side, looking for the now bearded Oliver McBurney onto his bonce, and he heads that one over the bar, getting a quick look at the West Brom fan base, and then not a looker amongst them. We're on 16 minutes. The Blades, though, keeping this pressure on, keeping this possession, which Chad has already mentioned, is the way United like to play. What do you reckon for a full-time score? Pop them in the comments. Joshua is saying a 3-0 win for the Blades. Wouldn't that be nice? And maybe, even though I'm not back yet for a game, and since I've left, the Blades haven't won, maybe the fact I'm doing the watch-along is that sprinkling of luck.
Exactly. Good. See, we had Robert on the pod filling in for Noah for the last couple of weeks, and we went on a bad run of form in the league, and it was like every time he did the pod, it was like, oh man, we keep losing, or we just draw.
He's really good, though. He's really got a great. He's not just a handsome man with great hair. He's also got a great voice.
Yeah, he does. He does. Silky. He could almost do like a pillow talk type deal. Late night pillow talk with Robert, Captain Casa.
If you have just tuned in, we are talking about football. Well, I am. We are asking for your predictions for full time. I think Chad just had a mini stroke, but he'll be back with us any second. We are on the time, which is accurate, I'm pleased to say, in that top right-hand corner. And the bigger story is that I've remembered every button so far to press correctly. West Brom, their first meaningful attack since the beginning of this game, when they actually did look slightly the more dangerous side on that right-hand side. Matt Phillips is going to see, I think, plenty of the ball, putting that ball looped in over that far post, and Townsend, the normal left wing back, looking to try and keep that in, but actually ends up just fouling George Baldock with quite a late foot on the shin pad there, and the referee, quite rightly, Dean Whitehouse, the referee today, giving that, it's Dean Whitestone, giving that as a foul right on the byline. Adam Davies will check, of course, as will Ahmed Hodzic and Doyle, that their teammate, the Greek international, is all right. Interestingly, Cyprus played against Greece just before I arrived here in Cyprus, and Cyprus beat a George Baldock Greek side 1-0. I mean, George, I know would have been really annoyed at that. He hates losing. He's so competitive. Since I've been here, I've watched quite a lot of live local football. I've sort of adopted Apollon as my team. The interest here in football is seemingly quite low.
Really?
Well, I'm basing that on attendances.
What division are they in? Are they in the top?
Yeah,
league?
Apollon are probably the best side in Limassol, which is the biggest place to meet.
Oh,
Biggest,
okay.
nearest big place to meet. There's loads of sides in Limassol, but they're the big one. There's also a team in the third division that I can walk to from where I live called Apia. And Apia got promotion from the fourth to the third. And if you buy a season ticket, which costs €70, you get a free shirt.
Really? Wow.
Hence the lack of interest. They'll do anything. But I can't do it. I can't do it because they wear blue and white stripes.
Ugh. Yeah, no, no, don't do
Yeah.
that.
Well, it's the same blue as well, so it's
wow.
it's really far too close to the pigs. So as much as I will try and support Apia because I know the guy who runs the side, and he's a really nice chap, I can't bring myself to get a shirt. And also Apollon as well, they wear blue, so it's
not good.
Cheers for asking, Dublin Blade. How am I settling in? Mosquito bites, mate. Mosquito bites are plenty. I'm absolutely covered in them. There's loads here. And the thing is, because I'm trying to avoid the mozzies, I've not gone outside and I'm still getting bitten.
That's interesting. They're getting in the premises somehow.
They're getting in the house. If I could be bothered to turn this around, I'd show you that I've covered all the vents in the house with sellotape and I'm still getting bitten.
That is insane. That is crazy.
It is not great. Right. Ask for an away shirt. Yeah, that's a good shout, Adrian. I haven't actually seen their away shirt. It's probably white and blue.
Blue, yeah, I was going to say, yeah, it's probably the reverse. Yeah.
Is that Ender Stevens that we spy with our little eye? Because Ender's actually made the bench today, hasn't he, Chad? Which is good news.
Yeah, it's good to see him back. I don't really know. What was his injury?
Good question.
He's been out for, the entire season? I don't think he's featured at one. I don't think
you could argue he hasn't featured since Brighton at home in the Premier League in 2019, but that's me being a bit harsh. He hasn't played as well as he usually does for a long time. I can't remember what his injury was. I'm not that guy, pal. I'm not that guy. I don't remember injuries. I'm a football nerd, but I'm not that much of a football nerd. I can never remember a player's injury. Josh was saying where you are, Hal, just outside Limassol, if you know Cyprus, although I have now been across the whole island. I even went to the north the other day. I've got sort of a chance to see it all. So I went up to Ayia Napa and Decalia and other places. So I don't know how many people watching this actually know Cyprus as a place, but it is beautiful.
Yeah, that's fair. How many islands of Cyprus can you fit in UK?
It's small. It's really small. There's less than 1 million people here. It's 800,000 population.
Oh, really?
Right. I'm going to come back to the game because here we are on 21-33 with West Bromwich Albion with a ball on that outside the box area with a chance on the right foot to whip it in, but it's a cross that absolutely misses everybody. George Bordock now with a chance to bring it away and take his time and find, because there's so many Blades options, a red and white shirt. Doesn't do that. Gives the ball away. West Brom are going to maintain possession on this left-hand side as we approach 22 on the clock. 1-0 United, and they will indeed win a throw-in, which perhaps they can utilise to their advantage, but they can't instantly. It's given away again. It's seemingly like a game of tennis here. Neither side wanting to keep possession of this ball, and it literally is back and forth. It's not one that I think any neutral would write home about. But at the moment, West Brom will look to just do as much as they can in terms of keeping possession. They need a goal. The crowd, if they start to turn, if they start to get nervy, particularly with a new manager where they would have expected the bounce, I think it could work in the Blades' favour. Start to pick them off second half. Let's see a bit of pace. Let's go over the top. If we are going to play this long ball, which at the moment we're leaving mostly to West Brom, and the Blades are actually trying to play football, but it could work in our advantage. Maybe give that ball to Iliman and die. He's got the skill. He can take a man on and he can get things breaking away. As he does now. Finds Oliver McBurney. Has a shot. It's a goal! It's 2-0 on 23 minutes. Iliman and die breaking through the middle. He picked his man out, Oliver McBurney. He shuffled, dip of the shoulder, right foot, a curler into the bottom corner.
Get in. Come on. What a
Blades
goal.
are there. What a goal.
What a goal. What a shot.
Wow. Talk me through it, Chad.
I mean, it just, it's a McBurney goal that, I mean, dare I say, we're getting used to seeing. I mean, Ilman and Dye got McBurney the ball, and he drove it inside the box and had a shot. I mean, perfect curl around the goalkeeper too.
I thought that was a really great bit of running, great skill in his own half as well.
Top of the box, just curled it. Yeah, and it's like West Brom were just kind of like happy to let him run. Okay, we're not going to tackle him. Okay, he lays it off. We're not going to tackle McBurney, and it's goal.
Yeah, fantastic. I love to see the way the Blades have responded. Normally, you see United sitting on a 1-0 lead. Not today. Not today. Done everything we hoped they would do. 2 informed strikers, and they score. Scott, absolutely right. That man, Skillyman and Dye, if he can link up technically with anyone because he's got it all, hasn't he, Chad? He's a player that the ceiling is limitless.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is that I'm scared for what the future has to come for Ndai, because I know we're probably going to lose him at some point. Because how can not one of the big teams in England see this and be like, here we go. Here you go. Here's your check. Come play for us. Come on. But I mean, he is, like you said, his ceiling is beyond this world. I mean, he's that good. He can be that good.
Yeah. We Nick and I met George Santos at a Blades game before I left, and he was scouting Ndai for West Ham. And we told him in no uncertain terms,
no,
just back off, George.
All right, just let him get us promoted this year. Just let him get us promoted, and then everybody can get poached.
No. We'll need him more if we get promotion. You need your best players in the Premier League.
And that's what I would like to see, like us get promoted with this side, and then see the likes of Ilman Dye, Sandy Barge, those players playing in the Prem and not playing in a Premier League without no fans, like when we got relegated the last time.
But surely you want the players to come on the journey.
Yeah,
with you.
Exactly.
I don't think there's any point getting promotion and then, as you say, then they can get poached. If we went up and we sold Wes, League One Wes, Ahmed Hodzic, Skillyman and Dye, we lose McBurney, so his contract runs out, we sold Berger. I think there's just no point. We'd be decimated. We'd be annihilated. And no one wants to see that. We've got to keep hold of these guys that deservedly would get a chance to have their shot in the Premier League. And why not just stick with the team you've got there with? Because Ndai could go to Everton. He could go to a West Ham. And he'll get game time. Of course he will, because he's a really good player.
Yeah.
But if he stays with Sheffield United, maybe even for his whole career, he becomes a legend.
Yeah, true. Do you think
you have a statue after him?
Do you think his wandering eyes, he because they know, like, Ndai knows his skill level, and he knows he's probably one, if not the best, one of the best players on the side. His wandering eyes are like, well, I could go play for an Everton. I could go for a West Ham. Is that something come January? He's like, all right, get me out of here.
It depends how loyal he is.
Agent. Yeah.
Depends if he thinks, do you know what? Sheffield United are the team that gave me my chance. I owe them. By the way, something that we should keep an eye on, Chad. Chris Basham, just been feeling his groin. And if there's one area where we can't afford an injury, it's defense. Okay, lovely stuff. Chad, of course, aware that Chris Basham's anniversary is coming up, giving us that. That's the kind of insight you get on Sheffield United Way. You won't get that on the official channel. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. I'm going to Nick, clip that. Sorry, clip that. I want you to clip a couple of things Chad said, but that one's right up there.
I mean, hopefully it's not another injury. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. I think the goal reactions aren't going to be that great for clipping because, unfortunately, the delay. What I want you to do from now on, Chad, is pretend when we score a goal that you've seen it.
Okay, I will. Yeah, I will.
The fact that we've scored because you see my reaction, that's enough.
Yeah,
that's enough. Yeah. Pretend you're listening on the radio.
Exactly.
And it's not beyond the realms of possibility that I could be broadcasting on the radio.
Yeah, it's true. That is very true.
Right, 2-0 to Sheffield United. We are having a great time. Lovely comment there.
Yeah, there you go.
You come for the watch along, you stay for Chad's comments. There's absolutely no debate there whatsoever. Now, Matt Phillips on this right-hand side cushions a ball down superbly. Can he beat that man, the industrious Duracell bunny that is Ben Osborne, who I think gets a bit of a bad rap from Sheffield United? He cannot. Not only can he not beat Ben Osborne, Benny Osborne plays it off Matt Phillips for a goal kick. You love to see it. Having a really, really good game, Ben Osborne so far. Reads the pass superbly well when it's played over the top, stays with his man. Phillips does all the nice little touches, ready to nutmeg him. You shall not pass.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Brilliant.
He's been locked down in this game. He's been, it's carried more his form. It's almost like since he got that goal last week, it's almost like his form has just improved from then on. And he's just carried it over to this game.
Where is Nick? He's at the game. He's at the Hawthorns, as I would obviously be if I wasn't living abroad now. I think you know, Chad, I went to every single game before I came out here. Right, here's a chance over the top for West Bromwich Albion as we approach the half-hour mark. Ball crossed in. Is it going to be dealt with by the Blades? Ahmed Hodzic, that man in the middle, sees the ball, clears the ball, corner. Little bit of danger there. Little bit of danger.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, West Brom are going to have their chances in this match. I mean, it's not going to be. It's not like they're a terrible side. I mean, yeah, their form says where they are in the league, but they're still. This is still a good side. I mean, a lot of people has West Brom tabbed to go up and promoted this year.
Player for player, you're absolutely right, Chad. This is still a good side, and this is a side looking to try and get back into this game. I think if West Brom score before the break, it changes the halftime team talk for both managers. Ball played in, Adam Davis comes out, flaps at it. Where's that going to drop? It's going to drop for another corner with them watching Blades masses behind that goal. Kind of frustratingly, I'm seeing not all tickets being sold out for away games when I've struggled for so long to get tickets for away games, and now I can't go to away games, and I would have gone to away games because it doesn't matter to me where they are. The games in the south are easier to get to for me. So, Bristol City on a Tuesday night, not a problem. Anyway, ball crossed in, caught by Davies from that corner by the Baggies, and the Blades will just keep things calm now. A few pats on the back, bit of a bounce of the ball. Everyone relax. It's going to be a case now of just trying to calm it down. That little spell of attacking possession from West Brom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree with that. It's one of those things. I hate this in football, but the time wasting aspect, whether we're ahead or the opposition is ahead, just play the game out how it should be. I don't like holding onto the ball, looking at the maker's label on the ball, and then getting it on after you wasted 35 odd seconds.
Yeah, completely agree with you and everything. In fact, I'm going to go as far as this. Everything you've said since we started this watch along, apart from Ben Osborne isn't your favourite player.
Okay. That's
I mean, judging from that top you're wearing, your favourite player is the goalkeeper.
Yeah, the yellow submarine. Yellow submarine. Yeah. We're all going down in the yellow submarine.
The maroon shirt. I'm waiting for that one.
See, I had issues trying to pre-order it to where it was saying my information was not successfully taken, to which I called my credit card company to say, hey, has there been any purchases from the UK? And I told them the club shop. They said, no, it hadn't. So I emailed the retail services and said, hey, I'm having troubles with it. And they never got back to me. And now if you go on the club shop, you cannot order it. So
that's annoying. My sister asked me what I want for my birthday because it's a big birthday coming up for me in a few days. And I said, I want that shirt, but she's obviously struggling to get it. Are you in Cyprus permanently? You need to watch my Twitter account.
Yes. If you haven't given him a follow, yes, he updates it nearly every day.
At Howler Blade, and yes, not coming back. Who's your guys' favourite player? Who's your favourite player?
Oh, man, it's a tough one. Probably Egan. John Egan. Squarehead John Egan.
Yeah, it heads like a 50 pence piece. Here's a chance for West Brom on this right-hand side where all their attacks are coming from. Will it be blocked by the Blades initially? Yes, going to roll out for a throw-in, which is as dangerous as a corner. It's a Rory Delap style throw-in every time West Brom get a throw-in. Let us know your favourite player in the comments, or just tell us what you're doing later on.
I know.
Right.
Yeah.
There we go. Each their own. Furlong is going to get a chance to throw this ball in on 33-33. Ooh. Again, we've got to watch this because Furlong's very, very dangerous. We saw that in the 4-0 under Slav last season. Ball played to the penalty spot. That's what he looks for each time. But on this occasion, Heckie's got them drilled, Chad. They are dealing with every throw so far coming into that box, repelling them better than my mosquito repellent.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing everything you want to for the long throws. And, we got beat a lot, as you said prior, in this fixture last year when we got drubbed 4-0. So, yeah, a very well organized side.
Going to say hi to Geography Edits.
Hi, Geography Edits.
It's good content. The clock makes all the difference, doesn't it, Thomas? I keep reminding Nick to remind you and Noah. Don't know if he bothers.
Yeah, from now on, we'll have the running clock.
Michael settling in. Mozzie bites aplenty. But other than that, it's all right. It's all good. People are really friendly. I'm learning Greek. And we'll make it work. Right, here's the Blades with that ball played in on that left-hand side. The referee, I tell you what, let's talk about that referee for a moment. This referee is Dean Whitestone. We've hardly mentioned him, and that's what you want to be saying with a referee, and we haven't been saying that the last few weeks. The refs have been really, really obvious.
Yeah, and it's not only with United, but obviously that's what we cover is United, but it's been across the country, all the way from the Prem to League One, League Two, all the podcasts that I listen to that cover all those leagues. It's just been so, like, the refereeing has been so bad. And it's like, it seems like we had our run of it where we have bad refereeing, the last 2-3 games where it really hasn't gone in our favor. So, yes, the referee in today's match, we haven't mentioned him. He's to my knowledge, he hasn't done anything crazy. He's just kept it.
Mm-hmm.
He's just kept it calm, cool, collected, and he hasn't let the bright lights of being on TV affect him because obviously, when you have Friday night kickoffs, they often say that the refs see the bright lights and they get all flustered and make calls they shouldn't.
Agreed. Let's know where you are in the world, where you're joining us from, where you're watching. Always like that. Also, we haven't had a single super chat yet. So if you want to help support the channel, we need it. It would be really, really brilliant if you could. Click on super chat, the little money icon, I think. And help make a donation towards Sheffield United Way. And it would be, it'd be much appreciated. It'd be great to get some support because we do this out of the goodness of our hearts. And to be honest, for both of us, it's different time zones. It's very early for Chad. It's the blooming middle of the day for me when my wife wants to do stuff. But here we are doing this for you. Right, we've got a corner for West Brom in front of their home fans with the away fans housed to the left-hand side. It's a dangerous corner as well on that right-hand side. But West Brom, again, can't initially do anything with the ball into the box or the ball on the edge with a swiped shot that just goes wide. Can't read a single name and number on the back of either of these shirts. I am watching this on the world's smallest telly, but that's by the by. Shot from the edge on that left foot. It's going to go wide of Adam Davies's left-hand side, the way with his back to it, with Dean Nagana getting that shot away on 37. Davies will watch that all day. And to be honest, he's reading comics, Dean Nagana, if he thinks he's scoring from 35 yards with 3, 4, 5 defenders in front of him, and he's not going to hit it on target. I mean,
no chance. Yeah, no chance of that. I mean, and Davies will like that. He's taking it from so far out. That's easy as you like for a keeper. I mean, just keep doing that. If it were to be a piss missile, no, that's not going to happen
though. Chance for West Brom on this left-hand side. Going to be a free kick. Ahmed Hodzic fouling his man, and we're going to see the first yellow card of the game. Cheers, Doug, for asking. It's all going well, my friend. So 38 minutes, Chad. First booking. Ahmed Hodzic into the back of the West Brom man once, twice, 3 times a lady, and the ref said that's too many. Well, I've got to be honest, I'm not sure that was a booking.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think it's just a foul. I don't think it's it's not really I mean, you could call a follow before that for like a drag back, but yeah, I don't think he's not really impeding him much.
Yeah, 5th of the season for Ahmed Hodzic, which would mean he misses the next game, which is the last thing that we needed. So it's that free kick on that left-hand side. Dean Whitestone has blown the whistle. It's a very good delivery. Gets a touch, going to drop onto the edge of the area. Ball chipped back in, sliced clearance from the Blades, which really could have been dealt with very, very easily, that ball back in. But as the slice clearance from Fleck on his stronger left as well, ends up sending it behind for another corner on this right-hand side. They're just starting to turn the screw a little bit, West Brom, just getting a little bit back into this. So Ahmed Hodzic booked, 5th of the season, we believe suspended for the next game.
Do you think that's what Hecky was writing down in his little black book? And now, no go against Bristol City.
Referee's seen something in the box, having a little chat with Ahmed Hodzic. That's literally the last thing we need.
Yeah. Oh, no. Please, no.
Yeah, I would not like that at all. I mean, at the moment, it's just a word. Jake Livermore and Ahmed Hodzic coming together in the box. Referee saying, that's enough of that. Bit of handbags. Big lad, isn't he? Muscular, Jake Livermore.
Yeah, he is. He's
clean on the weights.
Brick house, yeah.
He is a brick house, well edited for the family audience. Now, corner on this right-hand side. Very good corner. One of the best ones we've seen from West Brom all day. And they've had a fair few. But again, the Blades dealing with everything that's coming in, except that second ball on this occasion. And it's head tennis, head tennis, head tennis, head tennis. Edge of the area. Shot. Saved by Adam Davies. Right footing Rasper, which goes out for another corner on the right-hand side on 40 minutes. West Brom really upping the ante here as that ball dropped on the edge. And it was a shot that could have gone absolutely anywhere, looking for that far corner. And Davies read it well, got a hand to it, pushed it wide. Corner again, 40-30.
And it was a good save. And I said this leading up to the match, Davies was going to have to make a couple of saves in this game. And, you know, that goal, that second Pookie goal last week against Norwich was pretty soft that he gave up. So it's good to see that he was able to make a save like that.
Well said. Great match reaction, by the way, to that Norwich game, because I did it. And I did say that Davies got down too late to that one. Do you say Davis or Davies?
Davis, Davies, Davo.
Good.
Whatever.
Good. We shouldn't struggle with that name. Which is one thing. But not so much there. Iliman and Dye working his way towards goal. Got a few defenders to get past. Tricks, flicks. You love to hear it. Dinks. Ooh. Shot deflected. Going to go over the bar. A corner for the Blades. Finally, United hitting on the counter. So interesting to see that Iliman and Dye, and what we discussed earlier, Chad, is going to be using that away from home tactic when the home side have to come out and go for it. And when you've got a nice cushion, you can allow it. And that's the first meaningful Blades attack since that second goal.
Yeah. And this kind of, since we got that second goal, it's kind of like, okay, we're going to concede possession to West Brom and have them, have possession and have their chances. And then we'll try and just work on the counter. But I would like to see us get further up the pitch and stop being pinned in the final third and, making this our first attack since, getting that second goal. It's a bit worrying. I just want to see us get further up.
Yeah, but like I said earlier, United are famous for sitting on a 1-0 lead. I'd much rather see us sit on a 2-0 lead. Although, what's more dangerous than a 2-0 lead? If you try and list things in the comments that are more dangerous than a 2-0 lead, Chad and I will instantly dismiss all of them because there is nothing more dangerous than a 2-0 lead. I'd often feel more comfortable being 2-0 down because at least then you've got nothing to lose.
Yeah, exactly. You got everything to play for.
Yeah, and it's the natural pessimism of a Blade. It is 2-0 to United. We've got 3 minutes left. I'm joking, of course. I absolutely do not like being 2-0 down. A landmine or be nowhere, not even close. Nope. Not even close. 2-0 lead, genuinely terrifying. If there's a sign and it says this way to 2-0 lead, this way to untracked landmines, I'm running that way.
Yep, I'm running.
I'm going nowhere near the 2-0 lead because that path spells danger.
You could just ask Norwich last week.
Just ask Norwich. They will tell you Landmines, please.
Yep.
Thank you. I mean, that one might be. That one might be. I'm not sure Chad's going to get that reference. But,
No.
Yeah. Oh, actually, Simon, yes. Yeah. If you could see my legs, they have had a little feast, a little banquet, a little Hal buffet on my legs. We laugh, but I'm actually allergic to mosquitoes, so this is proving to be quite unpleasant.
Not good.
Wasn't in the brochure. Right, ball flicked on, looking for another corner for the Baggies. They've had how many corners does it seem like on that right-hand side?
A bundle. I mean, at least
That's it. That's the official technical term.
bundle.
That's why we've got Chad here. Thanks, Chad. We'll speak to you next game.
A bundle. Yes, a bundle. I believe it's a bundle.
Yeah, it's like half a dozen. You know how many that is, but no one actually knows how many a bundle is. But it's that many.
17.
17
let's see. It's 4. A bundle is 4.
A bundle is not. It's 5 if it's a day. Right, here's a chance on the right-hand side up against Ben Osborne. And the defender does enough. But, of course, it's then another West Brom corner. It feels more like 6 than 4. I don't know what you're looking at, but it's wrong.
Yeah. Well, updated stats. Let's see what updated stats say. It has updated stats. It still has West Brom 4. It's probably 6 now because this is going to be their second in a row, third in a row. I don't know how. This might be 5 on mine. I don't know if they've got another corner.
Razor sharp insight from Chad. The official stat is a bundle, and I think we should have probably just left it at that. A bundle. 2 minutes of added time in this really good and exciting first half. I've enjoyed it. It's been the first game that I've been doing from Cyprus. And of course, Blades, I know a lot of people have been messaging me on Twitter at Hal the Blade saying I've got to come back because it's bad luck since I left the country. You could argue that since I was born, Sheffield United have been better. As when I was born, United were travelling down, only one way, 4th division. And then I was born all the way up through the divisions. Just saying. Just saying.
You're the good luck charm United was looking for.
Exactly. That's Chad's words, not mine. Let's get another goal before the break. Because I think either way, another goal changes absolutely everything in this match. The next goal is key.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. But I think the halftime talk from Hecky, if it stays 2-0, is just more the same kind in the second half. And, we'll probably see this out. Maybe we get another goal in the second half, 3-0 winners.
I've been a Blade long enough to know not to agree to that. Peters has just quite nasty foul there on Iliman and Dye. Did not appreciate that, the Senegalese striker. I think that is far more a yellow card than Ahmed Hodzic's yellow, which he got when we now know he's going to be suspended for Bristol City. And that's one of your best players down when we can't afford to have another defender injured. But that one for me, a yellow, and Peters doesn't get the booking.
Yeah, that's I'd be in agreement with you there. I mean, he just grabbed him and kind of just threw him down.
Yeah, and Adrian in agreement with us as well. I thought that was an absolute stonewall yellow card. The free kick, really, really disappointing from the Blades. Looks like they're just trying to play for time with John Fleck. Terrible delivery. I think Tommy Doyle's got to take all the set pieces for me.
I would agree with that. I don't think John Fleck needs to be anywhere near set piece. Norwood every once in a while will hit a ping, but TD for me needs to be taking them all.
And that is your halftime whistle. It is 2-0 to United at the Hawthorns. I don't think any of us saw this coming against one of the favourites for promotion. We already played here in the League Cup and were beaten. But this time it looks like Iliman and Dye and Ollie McBurney have combined superbly to put United in a really strong position. Fantastic support from the away end. And it's been thoroughly enjoyable.
Yeah, it has. We were both nervous going into this. I mean, I called a 2-0 scoreline at the beginning of the watch-along, and you were more on the pessimistic side with the Carlos Cobran, new manager bounce. So to say we've come out and looked like the old United, is that a fair statement?
Yeah, and maybe it's because the injured players coming back to some form of fitness. It's one thing having Ahmed Hodzic, Ben Osborne and Fleck back in the team. It's another thing having them back and actually being fit. 'Cause I think it was clear Ben Osborne wasn't up to it and not fully fit at Coventry. Fleck was nowhere near Fleck at all. Ahmed Hodzic didn't even look quite himself, and actually hasn't really at times in this game, because we've seen how much of an influence he's been. He's been like a cheat code at certain times. In this game, he's had a couple of misplaced passes. Some times he's been skinned and he's given away a cheap free kick. But actually, overall, he's been very, very good. But perhaps not still the Ahmed Hodzic of 100% fitness. So it's all I'm saying. Getting these players back does make a difference. We know there's even more still to come.
Yeah, in the droves, we've got a whole second 11 on the injury list.
Well, it was worked out in the last 10 months. It's been 17 first-team players that have been injured, and that's unsustainable. You cannot run a football club like that when you have a 22-man squad, 17 players. It's just ridiculous. I don't know how we're actually coping.
Yeah, honestly, because some of the match lineups, some of the bench players, we're coming from the youth system.
Even today.
Yeah. I mean, just pulling them back like, hey, we need you on the bench because we need healthy bodies. And
yeah, Jordan Amissa, for example, today, wouldn't necessarily be on the bench. It would be Adam Davies on the bench and Wes Stein. But to even have the situation where your goalkeeper, who knows you've got these serious injuries, to then get himself suspended for 3 games for a very uncharacteristic, what would we call it? Body slam?
Yeah, body slam. Was he dragged down? I don't really.
I thought he was dragged down. I think that's a really good point. I thought he was dragged down, but the governing body, they tend not to overturn these things unless it's really obvious, and that would again be down to opinion, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, just taking the Blades glasses off. I mean, you really look at it. It was never going to get overturned, even if there was evidence that Lavery pulled him down.
Lavery, yeah,
it was never going to get overturned.
You're not wrong, but you've got to challenge these things because when you know you're right. Jack says thoughts on the second half subs. Well, Chad, I'll actually put this one to you because I'll have that team scrolling on the bottom while you've got a chance to think about it. But the subs are Jordan Amissa, Ender Stevens, Jackie Longthrow, McAtee, Rida Kadra, the skipper, and Rhian Brewster-Baby.
Oh, man. I think because we have that game midweek, if we were to get if we were to get a third goal in the second half, does Hecky, he's not going to come out of halftime and make any changes unless that Bash injury.
Bash.
Yeah.
The worst place to get injured,
yes,
the groin.
The groin. So it's one of those things. Okay, that's probably the only halftime sub we would see if he were not fit to come back out. And, we might play 10 minutes and then Hecky, because we do have that midweek game against Bristol City, do we start to rotate? Because remember, we do have 5 subs. We could use 5 players. There's enough players to,
but that's an if.
And die off.
That's an if we get a third, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say second half starts and West Brom get an early goal. You can't then think that way. In fact, that way of thinking now is completely gone for the whole of the second half. So actually, like we said before, the next goal is key. Let's assume it stays 2-0. We're at the hour mark. What do you do?
I think you bring Kadra in, and I think I'm going to see, because you've got to get some game time for, who do you think comes in for Bash midweek? Jackie Longthrow? Does he play?
Yeah, you'd have to put Ahmed Hodzic on the right-hand side of the 3, Egan in the middle, Jackie Longthrow.
I'm thinking I called out the wrong player because
Ahmed
Hodges is Ahmed Hodges
is going to put Bash on the right, Egan, even
Jackie Longthrow. So maybe we get Jackie Longthrow in for a little bit of game time in the second half. Get him back to playing, because it's been a long time since he's been out there, and he's going to be thrown to the wolves on Tuesday if we don't get him in this side. So I think he comes in. McAtee and Kadra probably also come in. Kadra a little bit more pace.
We're saying, weren't we, the Bash situation, because we know Ahmed Hodzic is suspended for the Bristol City game. So the question becomes, is Basham injured? And if he carries on playing second half with that groin that he's been nursing, shall we put it that way, then you potentially lose him longer term. Without Ahmed Hodzic and Basham, that's your 2 that you're playing either side of Egan. It starts to become a real headache, because Kieran Clark isn't 100% back yet. Do you play Jack Robinson on the right-hand side of a back three and then Ender Stevens on the left as a centre-back?
I mean, we're probably going to have to. I mean, in all honesty, because we don't have anybody left. We don't have anybody that's as easy as that. We don't have anybody left.
Maybe he's going to be absolutely fine.
Hopefully.
Basham, you never know. Dublin Blade saying Jackie Long throw played for the under-21s midweek along with Kadra. Yeah, I watched that game, and Kadra was good in parts. I'm really confused by Rian Kadra, and I've actually done a video that's going to drop on this channel very soon about Rian Kadra, which I did with a Blackburn Rovers fan who gave me kind of the whole season review of last season of Kadra, and it was fascinating. And what they saw from Kadra, we're seeing now. But the guy needs minutes. And I think what Chad said, if we get a third, we've got to give Kadra some time. Let's see what he can actually do. He started against Blackburn at home. I thought he did all right, but I think we haven't seen him in his best position, and that probably is up front.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that. I've been thinking that for the last couple of games, we're getting him in here in spurts. He did start the Blackburn game, but I'm curious to see if we gave him like a run of 3 games in a row, starting all of them and probably
same with Brewster, isn't it? Surely.
Yeah, it's hard for Brewster to keep his confidence up and keep his momentum going when we're, starts one on the bench, comes in a substitute role, and then starts one, comes on the bench. It's hard to keep your momentum going when you're in and out of the side.
Completely. The Fox on the wall has said Kyron Gordon, ? A man who would have been on loan at Tranmere had we not had all these injuries. I don't want to sound harsh. Gordon played in the League Cup at West Brom, the game I was at, and I saw him at Millwall away. I mean, I'm just picking some of the games I've seen him live, and he got man of the match in that Millwall away game, but I'm not convinced.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I've seen him also play when he was on loan last season up against Brackley. Got turned inside out. And, I've not seen enough. I need to see a bit more, but at the moment, he's not the answer.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, it's just he's still young though, youthful. He's got a lot of game time ahead of him, and he's going to grow and get better. You would almost like to think.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got time to improve. He's got time to learn. Got time to grow. And I'm sure I'll look back on what I said in a few months and go, I was absolutely wrong. West Brom under Carlos Corberán, he'll be earning his corn, the new manager at halftime, because I think he will have finally gone, okay, I now know the severity of what is wrong with this Baggies lineup, because that team on paper that we read out from West Brom that's rolling along the bottom is a team that should be top 6.
Yeah, easily.
There's no question. We both said that before the game, and our opinion hasn't changed. I think he's got to change the formation. I don't think when he was at Huddersfield, he played the same as we play, the 3-5-2. He's not really gone with that today. He's kind of mixed it in a very strange. What did we say it was? Like a kind of 3-4-2-1.
Yep. Yeah.
Which isn't working because they've got no attack at all. With one up top. So West Brom may well come out second half a completely different lineup, use their subs and change formation and go the Corberán way.
And that's kind of like how we started this game. It was almost like the first 10 minutes, West Brom was kind of trying to get a foothold and kind of figure out what they were doing. And it's almost like, they're down 2-0, but they also, I feel like, grew into the game and got, they had more possession and had more chances towards the back half of the first half. So you could be right in saying that they're going to, make some subs later in the second half and come out with a completely different formation. But I mean, it's not an easy game for Corberán in his first game to come out and play the Mighty Blades. You would like to think like Coventry or Wigan or something. You like to come out and play a side like that where you can, get into the, get up to speed a little bit quicker. But
this is an interesting one. We've seen in the discussion in the chat, it would be good to see Brewster score, followed by I have zero belief in Brewster. Where do you stand on Rian Brewster? And don't say the groin.
I mean, I like him. I just think he needs more time. And I don't want to go and say it's done. We got fleeced by Liverpool for him. We paid an inordinate amount of money for an unproven star when we were in the Prem. And it's kind of biting us in the behind now, but we also don't give him enough of a chance. He was just starting to figure it out last year and then got injured and was out the rest of the season. Now, if he didn't get injured last year, I fully believe we would have probably went up with him because he was starting to turn the corner and he was scoring goals and we were aside in form. And with him going out, we just kind of lost that momentum.
Interesting about this from Adrian, too early in his career, needs a loan for a season like Jebbo. I watched Jebbo at Burton pre-season. He was absolutely fantastic. When I say Jebbo, I'm talking about Daniel Jebberson. Looked really, really composed, finished like an absolute superstar. So calm, right-footed shots across the face, no messing, didn't have like that time that sometimes players take when they're on the ball to think about what to do. He just natural. And maybe sometimes you worry that with these young talents that have this natural ability, they get it coached out and they stop doing the things that made them that exciting, precocious young talent. I think we might be seeing a bit of that sometimes with players like Brewster and Jebbo. I've been speaking to a guy from the Anfield Rap, a friend of mine, Chris, who has followed Rhian Brewster through his youth career and told me this guy is a natural Billy Sharp style finisher, a Gary Lineker, a fox in the box, someone shot turn, doesn't even think about it, natural finisher. Perhaps we just haven't been playing to his strengths.
Yeah. Because you can look at the goals that McBurney has scored since his return to form. I mean, like the goal he got today, a curler from outside the box. That's not Brewster's style. That's the ball falls to his feet, turn, shoot, and score.
You're right.
McBurney heads it in.
To be honest, I didn't think that was McBurney's game.
Yeah, me either. I mean,
he even said himself, didn't he, earlier in the season, he only scored one goal from outside the box in his whole career before the one he got earlier in the season.
That's true. But McBurney does use he doesn't have a flat head like Egan. He's more of the headed type. And Brewster's tried that, and I think he's scored, one goal from his head? But he's missed a fair few from, corners coming in.
Yeah, I'm not convinced at all. I think he's a really nice lad, but I'm not convinced. And I think, let's be honest, if we'd got him on loan, we wouldn't have signed him.
No, 100%. I would agree with you on that. But that was one of those impulse buys where,
no, it wasn't an impulse buy. I think this was Wilder doing Wilder things. Wilder chased his players, as you know, for your Ryan Leonards, your Ricky Holmes, your Samir Carruthers. He chases players for ages. Luckily, he whiffed with Martin Waghorn because we'd have been stuck with a cart horse that can't really score unless it's a penalty against the Blades. For all that I loved Wilder, I think transfers when he had money was very similar to Neil Warnock. When Warnock had money, he would go out and get your, Ahmed Fati and players that Jeff Horsfield, Nadia Akinbaye, players that didn't take the Blades to the next level and progress us and wasted money when we finally got to the big time. Wilder did the same. Wilder will look back on his time at the Blades and go, yeah, I wasted money. I didn't spend it wisely. I should have recruited in these areas and in these areas.
Yeah.
Some of the players we brought in that were really good, that have turned out really good, Wilder also brought in. But we need to look at the whole piece and say over the whole piece, let's say he made 30 signings, 6 of them were brilliant.
Yeah, and you can even look at Wilder at Middlesbrough. That's what inevitably ended him getting sacked because Middlesbrough wouldn't give him full control in what players they wanted to buy. And, he can only do so much with the players he has.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people agreeing with that in the comments. I wasn't trying to get onto a Wilder discussion. I try and avoid those at all times because you just never know who you're going to upset. We are going to get back underway in the second half. Slight delay for poor Chad. All I can say is, for the millionth time, sorry. I will start the clock when the second half kicks off, and you will be bang on, up to date and up to speed with the same clock as we're really seeing from the game, as it has officially now just returned. We are at 2-0 Blades from the first half. Goals from Iliman and Dye on 11 minutes and Ollie McBurney on 23. I would love to know, and I've asked a few times today and we've had some really good answers, where you are watching from around the world. Chad, remind people where you are.
I am watching right now from Charlotte, North Carolina.
And when you're about to say I am from, where are you from?
I am originally from Detroit, Michigan.
Detroit, what?
Yeah, Detroit, what? Eminem, have you heard of him? Eminem.
Ever heard of him? Do you subscribe to the Eminem stands for everyone's mother is nice except mine?
I don't know. I'm not the biggest Eminem fan as everybody else is.
Yeah, everyone is. This is interesting. Chad's from Canada. Absolutely,
South Canada, yeah.
Outrageous slurs on his geography. And I am in Cyprus. So that's why we are allowed to do these watch-alongs. So here we are, chance for the Blades on this right-hand side to get things moving. Second half now shooting towards those Red and White Wizard fans housed behind the goal on that left-hand side. It's 46:21 on the clock. We've got the clock going slightly differently here set for the second half. You just have to, do your own maths there. But I don't know how to do it any other way. Hey, yeah. It's better than no clock.
Yeah.
And a chance early on. Oh, Alex Palmer couldn't get it, couldn't keep it. It's spilled, and it's going to be cleared. And the Blades fans will make a lot of noise as United look to turn the screw and get a third early on, so that Chad's dream of making 5 subs in one go can finally see fruition, and we can rest some players ahead of Bristol City.
Yeah, that's the worry, because these fixtures now, because we're getting down to the thick of it. I think we only got about 3 weeks until the World Cup break.
It's not much of a break.
Yeah, it's not, because we come back after Boxing Day, correct?
Yeah, and I'd like a break that is the entirety of the World Cup. If we're going to have a nonsensical World Cup in a place that it should never have been in the winter, let's have the whole of the World Cup, because there's going to be players, I'm sure, still representing us that will be there. And I know that FIFA will pay clubs, but I could see 1 or 2 still being involved after the group stages.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really understand the whole planning out of this schedule. I'm in agreement with you. Let's be out for the entire from start to finish. The league campaign should be on hold until the final whistle's blown, and then you can have it start the next day or whenever it ends the next week after, to get players back into where their clubs are.
Quite agree. West Brom chance on 48 into the box, right-footed shot straight at Ben Davies. That ball played through by Phillips. What a chance, Chad. West Brom could have been it.
Yeah, I mean, they could have had a better opportunity than that. That was kind of just the ball's at my feet, and he got it. It looked like the ball got stuck underneath him, and he just there was nothing he could do there, and he just kind of like shoved it to Davo.
Yeah, but a big chance, and if they'd scored then, I think it changes the whole complexion of the game in this second half. 48-38 on the clock, as the Blades look to try and get a nice, strong Tommy Doyle challenge in. You love to see it. The referee, though, says he then pushed his man over. I like Doyle's tenacity, his vociferousness, his grit, his resolve, his endeavour. He never says die, and he's got that forward skill, but he's also got that defensive ability, as Swansea have equalised against Bristol City. I think a team with City in their name will come out victorious.
Yeah, or it could end in a draw.
I'm playing Fortnite whilst watching your stream. You ever played Fortnite?
No, not a big video game fan. No.
Nah, neither am I. I'm not a computer game guy. Nick is big into his gaming. Anyway, back to the match. There's a chance for Iliman and Dye. Can he knock the ball past the goalkeeper? He does. He takes it past Palmer. Tries to get a shot away. Oh, it's side netting on the right foot. Could have been 3-0. Oh, Skilly, man, what a chance. That could have been game, set, and match. It was a ball through the middle. Lovely play, and Dye past his defender, took it round Palmer. What do you think of that?
Too heavy of a touch. Too heavy a touch when he takes it around the keeper. But the build-up to that play, TD and the build-up to that play, what a pass. A threaded ball through. Oh, man, this is a lovely pass to Dye. Boom. You like to see that.
Who was it with the threaded ball through?
It was TD. It was Tommy Doyle that threaded it through to him. Yeah, it was a very good ball. And you could see, this is what I talked about earlier in the first half. Since we're 2-0 up, we're going to have these chances with a threaded ball through to get the ball in the likes of of Ndiaye and McBurney up front, and we could be in on one on the keeper. And hopefully, the next time we can score it, please.
Yeah, but that's 2 chances each, early biscuits in this second half. And I think that if West Brom score theirs, changes the game. If United score theirs, it is, dare I say it, it's game over. I don't see this West Brom side scoring 4 goals. That's all. I don't want to be, one of these happy clappers or overly pessimistic. But by the way, just got bitten on my finger by a mosquito as well.
Oh, no. Oh, no. That's an odd. Oh, yeah. That's an odd place to get bit. Yeah. That is an odd place.
They will munch on any part of my body. Let us know whereabouts you are watching. Simon is watching from Perth. I'm glad you clarified which one. I used to live in the one in Scotland, which is slightly chillier. Although I've got to say, Australia is ruining the T20 World Cup with its crummy weather.
Haven't tuned in. I'm not dialed in on the cricket.
Do you know what my problem is? I like too many sports. You can't imagine how difficult it is to follow cricket whilst also following baseball because timing-wise, your body clock's all over the place.
Oh yeah, I would imagine. It's hard enough. It's hard enough over here watching United, and we've got the NFL. I'm a huge college football fan.
Georgia.
Yes.
Do you know how I know that?
How?
I saw your watch.
My watch.
When we met.
Oh, yeah.
We met at Triple Point, and I noticed your wrist. Yep. And see, I remember everything, Chad.
Yep. There you go. I was like, my watch. I was like,
it's a watch, or was it a wristband?
No, it's a Apple Watch, and I've got the band is Georgia. Yep.
There you go. I'm not going completely insane. So I met Chad, which was one of the highlights of my life, just before the it was Millwall, wasn't it?
Millwall, yep.
Millwall at home game. That was brilliant. You and your lovely partner. You met my dad as well. That was great. Captain Cossa. My problem exactly. Too many sports. I think that the brain only has capacity for 2 sports. Genuinely, and yet over the advancing years, I've got into American football big time, baseball, cricket, football, basketball. Bit of Formula One. I started watching the golf. It's too much. I've got to cut out at least 4 of those.
Yeah.
I mean, the way the Packers are playing at the moment, maybe I'll ditch the American football.
Yeah, there you go.
Right, here's a chance on the left-hand side with the Blades getting a shot away. It's blocked. Good defending there. Of course, West Brom are without former Blade Kyle Bartley, who is suspended after being sent off against Millwall in their previous match. A very good defender. That's a foul, surely. Referee Dean Weinstein's not going to give it. I thought that was a push on George Baldock. Baldock, not his normal apoplectic with rage self.
Yeah, well, that's weird.
What's the difference between college and the NFL? About 80,000 fans.
Yeah, biggest. That's the biggest. It's the closest thing because people over here that don't watch like United or the Premier League or whatever, I say the easiest thing to compare college football to the away end or the home end in a football match. That's the easiest thing to compare it to.
Yeah, because they segregate, don't they? In college, they don't bother segregating in the NFL, which I think is stupid, by the way.
Yeah, but also to be fair, American sports fans are different than football fans over in England. Football fans get in a fight if they're opposing teams. If an opposing supporter of a different NFL or college football team,
I've been to an NFL game. I've been to an NFL game where it got a bit nasty, and I thought if we'd just been in separate ends, this would have been all avoidable. Oh, anyway, here's a corner for the Blades on that right-hand side where we saw all the corners in the first half for the Baggies. It's, John Fleck. Why, mate? Why is he taking the set pieces when we know that Tommy Doyle takes a fantastic corner? And for me, it should be he can take either foot as well. Just silly. Wasted.
That was easy as you like, too.
It was too easy for the keeper, Alex Palmer. He's going to catch them all day. So, wrong option there. Ben Osborne also takes a nice corner if you do want a left footer. But hey, we're sticking with Fleck. Not my decision, just my thoughts.
Yeah, I would agree. Not my thoughts either.
Ooh, a little heavy touch at the back. West Brom. I mean, with Iliman and Ndiaye bearing down on you, do you want to take a touch like that? I would argue not. I would say that they need to learn their Iliman and Ndiaye lesson but not at the moment. Here's West Brom's midfield trying to formulate pass after pass. I don't know if there's any baggies watching this. They'll probably be infuriated that I don't know the names of any of the West Brom players.
Yeah, right. It was chat row last week filled up with Norwich fans towards the end of that match. So it's good to see opposing fans like to look in on us.
Yeah, we sometimes do get that, and I always welcome it as well. Martin says, watching from Waterford, Ireland, but originally from Sheffield. Ireland's one of the few places I've never been. It's crazy, isn't it? Been all over the world, but all but one continent, and I've never been to Ireland, which
really
so close.
Hal, the world traveler.
Apart from Northern or the Republic of Ireland, never done either of them. And every Irish person I've met, I've absolutely adored. Just think they're really, really nice people.
Yeah. Can't say I've met too many in my life.
Well, I lived a little closer to them, in fairness, for quite a long time.
To be fair.
And Father Ted is the greatest comedy ever made. So there's that. Right, put your favourite comedies in the chat as we approach 57 minutes on the clock. 2-0 Blades. West Brom are going to make a double change under new manager Carlos Corberán next time this ball goes out of play. I think we will see a couple of changes. We speculated that the hour mark would be when Hecky makes a switch, although Chad suggested if the Blades get a third, that'll be when things change. You still leaning that way?
I think this game's going to kind of see itself out at 2-0. I don't know if we go and get another goal. I mean, you're probably going to see the double change that's probably going to come now because it's a goal kick, unless they played it on now because it's just playing out. Just went out for a goal kick. Okay, here comes the changes. But I wonder if with Corberán making these changes, are they going to change formation? No.
Yeah, that's the question. And I think that's the most sensible question as well, because I think they will. I think Corberán's going to go, right, I know what worked for my Huddersfield team. Let's go for that 3-5-2. Here's Blades on the edge of the box. Chance to work it in. Chance for a little dink chip. But it was wide from Ollie Norwood. Chad, at any point do you think that Oliver Norwood is reading comics, or do you think he genuinely believed that was going in?
Oh, I don't. It's tough to say. He's become, I don't know. He's a different player than last season. He's having the free flowing ability to just shoot from wherever he wants. He's like, oh, I'll have a go. Because how many times this year has he taken a shot from like 35 yards out?
He fancies it this season. Are we confident Bash isn't injured? Not at all, Jack. Not at all. We are not confident about that. No. I think he might be. And I'm genuinely worried about that. Chad, you're probably better informed on this than me because you like Sunderland, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, they've been on a kind of run of form because they don't have any strikers. Ellis Sims is coming back in form or into the team. He's back training. He's going to play probably this afternoon. But yeah, they're not bad for a newly promoted side. And as topsy-turvy as this league is, they could have a chance at playoffs.
I've met quite a few Blades, Stuart. You talk about that. So here in Cyprus, I chatted to a guy called Jim, who's a massive United fan. My friend Karen, who lives here, is a Blade. I met another one called Jamie just the other night. In fact, I put a video on Twitter of Jamie and I singing the Dean and the Ghana song. So yeah, there's Blades everywhere, and the reach really is incredible. Meeting Blades in Cyprus is not something I necessarily expected, but maybe we should start a Cypriot supporters group.
There you go.
That's at least 4 of us.
There you go. I mean, it's more than I think the 2 that are in that I've ever met that are in North Carolina, or the 1 that I've met in North Carolina to make 2.
Is that you and your missus?
No, I'm not counting her because she doesn't. She doesn't watch the footy like I.
Well, she did that Millwall game.
Yeah, the funny thing about that is when we were in the home end in the Cop, as I'm up cheering and going absolutely nuts when we get the second goal, I look over and Jetlag was sitting in and her head was bobbing like this as she was falling asleep.
Nice. People asking where we are in the table. We'd be 4th on 29 if it was to stay like this. But West Brom will try and do everything they can to change that. I wouldn't bother taking off Ahmed Hodzic now if we get a third. No point. He's going to miss the Bristol City game regardless. Oliver Norwood also on 4 bookings, so he needs to perhaps be substituted if we get a third, so that he doesn't get suspended for that Bristol City game. Or you look at it and go, do you get it out of the way? Because he's going to be suspended at some point, you'd think. It's another way of looking at it.
This is a matter of, do we just take our lumps and, we have so many games ahead of us in the season, might as well just get it out of the way.
Yeah. Iliman and Dye, there's already been offers for Ndai, and the Prince has said no. Let's see what happens.
100 million.
100 million, or don't even talk to me.
Yep. 100 million, or don't even bother.
Oh, Davis comes, drops, catches, gets a kick for his troubles. I think the referee might want to have a little word with the West Brom man for that, because that was a little bit nasty. Now, he'll argue that the ball was there to be got, but I think Davis already had that in his hands when the kick came in. A little bit late, that. A little bit late. That was nasty, Chad.
Yeah, it was. It just came through on my end over here, and I think Davis had ball, and
I think Davis had ball.
Yeah, he had the ball. It's weird. I figured that the referee would give Brandish a yellow, but he didn't. Kept the cards in his pocket.
Yeah, I agree with Lucky 79 completely. And yeah, it was nasty. It was really nasty, that. And I'm surprised. I think the ref has been good this game, but he did book Ahmed Hodzic when I wouldn't have done. And then he has let a couple of things from West Brom go. So Peters, I think, should have been booked. And the number 11 there, which I think is Dina Nagana, should have been booked as well.
I agree with that.
Yeah, fair enough, Adrian. It's all about opinions, mate. All about opinions. And mine is often wrong. Yeah.
That's it. That's a part of being in this business. Your opinions, they're not going to make light of it when you're right. They're going to make light of it when you're wrong.
Not sure we can call this a business.
Yeah, it's true.
It feels more like a charity.
Yeah, a charity, yeah. And with that, leave your donations.
Yeah, it's going really well, that. Nick always sets me a target of how much we can raise for the channel. We've raised so far, we're just going to double check the thermometer. Bear with me. 0. So if you would like to make a super chat donation, you can always do it afterwards. You can click on thanks and help support the channel. It costs us money to do this every single time we stream. We have to, Nick and I pay for that, but we have to do that. So if you wouldn't mind helping us, even like if we make £5, it just helps us to break even at the end of the season, which is our goal. Yeah. Every season, can we break even? I'll say one of the most expensive things is the audio podcast that we do. If you would help any way you can help with donations for that comes out of my account sort of every month. It costs us to have a streaming platform where we put the audio. So first of all, please listen to the audio, because Chad does a wonderful podcast. I always listen to Red Half of Sheffield, but there's room for more than one podcast. So check out Sheffield United Way. All of that stuff is our interviews with players and managers and things like that. So it's not even competing with Red Half of Sheffield. We're not reviewing games on that. We're not previewing. We're doing interviews. So please check that out. Please support it. Even if you don't want to donate, just listen. It'd be great.
Yeah. That helps. Did you happen to see who's coming into the game? Brewdog's got put his shirt on.
Rian Brewster, baby. But before that, the Blades are going to look to launch another attack on this right-hand side with the fantastic Tommy Doyle, who's been my man of the match. Yes, said it. George Baldock.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Back. Doyle again going to keep this alive. Lots of people would say Iliman and Dye, are you crazy? He has to be man of the match. But Doyle has been everywhere and hasn't, for me, put a foot wrong yet.
Not yet. Yeah.
But if we get a third, I'd sub him, because the last thing we need is an injury to a key player ahead of such a run of huge games. And I agree with all of those saying get Norwood off, because he needs just one more booking and then he's done. Good to see Wes there watching the lads. Just see him in the corner. And it is Fleck who's going off. Chad, thoughts on Fleck's performance?
Not really much. Done. He had a couple crosses. The last cross he took easy for the keeper. Okay. I'd rate him like a 6, 7 out of 10. Nothing really fancy. Just kind of
Bigger
nothing.
Question. Rian Brewster's hair.
It's
a lot more of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's been growing it out recently.
The kind of insight you get on this channel. That's why super chats are necessary. Please do donate to the channel. It really helps us with our running costs. If you haven't yet, please do. It'd be wonderful to get some of those for today. For me, I'm giving up almost my entire afternoon because I'm doing the match reaction after this.
Does Do you think Brewster's growing his hair out for the extra bounce if he were to get
Yeah, you said he's not been great in the air.
Possible.
Might be something in that. I mean, it hasn't worked for Egan shaving it, so
Yeah, because he's growing his out now. Yeah, so
yeah.
but he just likes to head it with his square
He's got a
forehead.
50 pence piece head, hasn't he? And it'll go pretty much different place every time. He should have scored a lot more goals. Let's see what West Brom can do with this while you think about this question from Simon. Is that an odd substitution?
I think we're going a front two now with Brewster and McBurney, and then we'll have Ndai drop back. So taking Fleck out, Ndai will drop in behind McBurney and Brewster. But we'll just have to see how it's played out.
That's what we used to do, isn't it, with Duffy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, so that formation. Whoa!
I know it's a rasping drive for West Brom and looking to try and get back into this game, but it was always going wide for me. Here's the big questions are all coming in now. Do you have FIFA 23? Well, I've said I'm not a gamer. Chad isn't either, so that probably answers that. The last computer game I played was Championship Manager 2001.
Wow, dating yourself there.
I'm pretty old now. So sometimes you have like a stage age, and you can pretend you're a couple of years younger. I don't care anymore. I'm just old.
It's just however you feel. Age is just a number.
It's just a number. Yeah. Do you guys have any insight into Jack O'Connell? He wears too many clothes on hot days whenever he's doing SUTV. So that's my insight.
Yeah, that's all you can see. Nothing.
I saw a guy in a jumper today. It's 29 degrees today. I saw a guy in a jumper. Right, we're back to the action. West Brom looking on that left-hand side to try and cross something into the box. Davis will read it really well, although it was a poor pass from Dean Nagana. No way he was going to find Grant. Matt Phillips, by the way, is completely invisible this second half.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hello, Matt Phillips. You out there? Nope, haven't seen him.
You got to give the people what they want.
Oh yes, haircut. He's growing. He's growing it out. Let's see him like what Marion Fellaini with the old United player. Just get the big afro.
Yeah, I'm more convinced with what you said now that Ndai is playing the Duffy role. It really does look like he's playing just behind the front two, like a number 10. Chance for West Brom on this right-hand side. Ball crossed in, missed by everyone. Looks like it's going to roll across. No danger. We're on 67-57 if you are just joining us. And the clock here doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
I would like one that did, bigger numbers. But, the fact we were able to get this one was challenging enough.
Yeah. But no, I wonder why Hecky wants to do this up 2-0, go 2 up front, drop Ndai in behind. Is this something, a formation change up front where, we could see this being played further down the road in games to come?
Yeah, I want to see it.
Yeah, I wonder if he's trying to install a new formation.
I guess it's a new old formation.
Yeah.
No, I'd love to see it. I think we need the plan A, B, C, and D. And at the moment, we have a plan A. Mm-hmm. And it would be lovely just to see a few more plans because he seems very wedded to the 3-5-2. When you've got no defenders, I think 4 at the back, which we have done, but he seemed reluctant to change it and kind of just changed it when, his hand was completely forced. Sometimes I think it would be good just to shock an opposition and just start with a completely different formation. It doesn't work. After 20 minutes, the players will be familiar enough to change back.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that, but it's just one of those things like when Slav came in last year and tried to change the formation and the players looked completely out of sorts. Is it now Hecky just resorted back to what we knew prior? And to be fair, we haven't brought in the players to change formation.
Question for Chad from Dublin Blade. What are you saying?
Oh, Flyers or Canes? Neither. Red Wings. The winged wheel. Red Wings. They're on the comeback. Going to be the best team in the NHL. Hopefully bring a Stanley Cup back to Hockey Town.
Yep, I've watched quite a bit of NHL. That's my 8th sport. So too many sports, far too many sports. Need to stop. Went and watched the Toronto Maple Leafs when I was in Canada. That was fun. Yeah, there we go. That's enough hockey chat for 1 year. Egan and Bash are too shaky in a back four. Yeah, I think it's more a case of what choice did we have
Yeah.
when the injuries hit. I think that's the thing. They do look shaky, but perhaps because they don't practice it enough. And this is what we're saying.
True.
Utilize it more, and it becomes second nature. It didn't really work under Slav, but Slav didn't do Egan and Bash, did he? Because he didn't fancy Bash.
No, he didn't. And that's one thing too. Could you imagine this side if we were a more versatile side? If we could change formations, if things aren't going well one way, we change it to another way,
Yep, absolutely right. I would love in-game, and you see it a lot more when I was watching a lot of La Liga, Spanish football. You see a lot more in-game formation changes.
Yeah.
Very, very rare. Certainly in the lower leagues of England. I mean, before I'm traveling here, I was watching Maidenhead United almost whenever Sheffield United weren't playing. Loads. Never once is it different from 4-4-2. Kind of every team really in that league, and it'd be great to see more and more transformation in game. And it'd be fascinating as fans to go, oh, look what they've done now. I don't like the guy, but Alan Pardew, when he was manager of Charlton, used to really do some things that were quite unique, certainly in the Championship in those days. I remember him playing Chris Uwalumo, is a kind of deep-lying midfielder that the defenders would have to come out to stay with him, and then he'd make like late runs because he was playing so deep, and he's like a tall, rangy striker. Why would he be playing like in a midfield position? But then he would come late into the box when the wingers were getting forward. Good stuff like that. I like watching things like that and see them develop, and it can keep you, as a fan, more engaged. Which sometimes can be quite a dull game, football, particularly if it's just back and forth and very little chances.
Yeah.
Yes, Wes is still suspended. He is at the game today.
He's got one more, isn't he?
One more. It was a 3-game suspension for the body slam against Blackpool.
Yeah. I mean,
so it'll be one more.
Hopefully, Davies gets us through one more game, and then we're back to League One West. League One.
It is 3-game, isn't it? It was 3-game.
Yeah, it was 3-game. Yeah.
So that would be Norwich, West Brom, Bristol City. Yeah. Hal, are you able to see Championship football on Cyprus television? Not on Cyprus television, but Hal has his ways. I haven't missed a single game yet.
Yes, that's what we like to hear.
I've got to say, I hate watching football on telly. No, I hate watching the Blades on telly. I hate watching football on telly. But when I did the match reaction for Norwich, having watched it on the SUTV, I was far more I knew a lot more that had happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're at the game, no replay, and you just miss something and that's it. I was a lot more informed. I saw it all. Oh no, hamstring. Rhian Brewster, he's pulled up. This looks like an absolute disaster for Rhian. He was on the charge, and West Brom, I think rather unkindly as well, aren't putting the ball out. This is a nightmare scenario in many respects. They're still on the attack. They've seen it's a serious injury. They're carrying on, and they've nearly scored as well. What a shocking passage of play. Really awful all round. No sportsmanship. I mean, okay, they don't have to stop. Of course they don't. But that comes down to morals. But Rhian Brewster, the bigger story.
No.
It looks bad, Chad.
Yeah, it does. He just he's done his hamstring.
He's done.
He's done. That's just get him off now. He's we'll see him after the World Cup. That is a 100% a hamstring injury.
My wife works in this world, of avoiding injury and hamstrings and stuff. What is going on? How are they warming up?
Yeah, I don't. Is it the I don't know, the guy that the medical staff is that are they have to be advising how these guys are training, because honest to God, I've never seen this so many injuries. And
Billy,
he hasn't been in for what, 15 minutes?
Yeah, it's terrible. Billy will have to be on now, but he needs to warm up properly as well. What is happening with these hammies? I mean, okay, hamstrings can just go, but we've now seen this with other players at the same club early on as well. This isn't players that have been playing 120 minutes in a playoff game.
Yeah.
This is because if you get hurt, I always think fresh from starting whatever exercise you're doing, you haven't warmed up properly.
Yeah.
Simple.
100%. Yeah, and I don't know if it surely can't. Well, see, the whole thing is Billy probably wasn't coming into this game. So what's the chances he comes out here, runs after a ball, and does his hamstring?
Yeah, you're right, because he wouldn't be prepared.
Yeah.
Or what I would say is, medical staff at Sheffield United, have them always prepared, have them always ready. Get the exercise bikes on the side of the pitch and have them on them. All right, let's just think outside the box here, Blades. Jackie Robinson looks like he's going to be brought on. Billy Sharp looks like he's going to be brought on. Let's see if we can make things a little bit different. That is gutting.
He doesn't look as bad as I thought he would with a hamstring injury.
You can't tell.
He's walking okay. He's not walking.
You can walk. If you've done a hammy and you're not extending it, you can walk off.
Yeah, he did have a bit of a limp coming off.
You can walk. No. You can. It's only when he would be extending it that it would even be a problem. But yeah, you can walk when you've done your hammy. We've seen other players do it. I remember Michael Owen famously doing his at Ellen Road. Awful. But never the same player again. We hope it's not a tear. You hope it's just, pulled it. R&D, it was different, but let's see. Rian might not be as serious as R&D. Let's hope.
Hopefully not. Hopefully he's only out a couple of games, and I don't know. What do we got? Like 4 or 5 games to the international break. So
yeah, it's big.
Do we just rest him?
Yeah, it's not great, but let's hope Rian maybe as a precaution when hammy's just a bit tight rather than it's totally gone. It'd be a disaster if it's gone because Rian Brewster needs, as we were saying, confidence, and that'll come from game time.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Good to see Jack Toronto in the game.
It is. We need to take positives, of course, but why, even when the Blades look like they might be able to get a win, and we still, it's the Sheffield United way, talk about negatives because that's been the season. No matter what happens this season, if we go up or not, we'll remember one thing from this season: injuries.
Yep, exactly. I mean, striking room is down to Bill Sharp and McBurney.
Yeah.
Man.
Don't like with this attack from West Brom, a chance for them to get back into this game. You think a goal will change things. It's a shot straight at Davies, who parries it away, and the Blades will be under the cosh for the next few minutes, you'd have thought, with the way West Brom have utilised this break-in play. It's actually unsettled United far more than West Brom. As soon as Brewster hurt himself, which, by the way, was when he was on the charge, it seems to have galvanised West Brom, and they are now turning the screw, getting chances.
To be fair, for the last 3 or 4 minutes, it had kind of been a sleepy, 15 or 20 minutes or so. Nothing really happened. West Brom had a chance. We really haven't had any chances in the second half. We just kind of, shut up shop, to be fair.
Yeah, in many respects. And it took Iliman Ndiaye there to come back and defend because he was sick of his defenders not putting a challenge in. He did it himself. Then the pass is misplaced to Ollie McBurney, and West Brom will, a bit like the Alamo now, will be on the charge again. 78-33, 2-0 United. Shots from long range seems to be the order of the day for the Baggies. They don't seem to be able to work anything at the moment into the feet of a striker. They'll obviously try and do that. The Blades defending resolutely and defending fairly well, although I always think when you unsettle a defence, it's like starting again each time.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like we're basically starting at new every time we do that. So here's to see how we'll see the last, I don't know how much added time you think we'll have, 3, 4, 5 minutes. So we still probably got about 15, 18 minutes left.
Yeah, Michael, you probably won't be seeing too much more of me on watch-alongs for so many reasons. The time difference is a bit of a killer here. The midweek games are a nightmare. So they start at 10 p.m., but my working hours are about to change, and I'm going to be beginning work at UK time 2 a.m.
Wow.
So if you think I'm going to be doing a game that will finish at midnight and then going to work a few hours later, it's just not going to happen. So I'll be saying that midweek games, probably not. And the weekends, these chaps are smashing it. So whenever one of them can't, I'll step in. But otherwise, the Red Half of Sheffield are making watch-alongs, I think, really enjoyable for all Blades fans.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the kind words.
Well, we love your podcast. Have done since I remember listening to the very first episode.
Yeah, you throw it in the Wayback Machine. You just kind of...
Yeah.
Wow.
It was just you.
Yeah, it was just me. It was me in this room and I didn't know how to edit, and I was like, screw it, I'm putting it out there.
It was fine. It was good. It was good. I always like to support all kind of Blades fan content. I think that we should all. There's some elements who make stuff and they've just decided they don't like Sheffield United way for whatever reason, but that doesn't stop me from listening to them or watching them.
Yeah,
I just think we should all support each other. I don't think there's enough Sheffield United fans for us to start disliking each other.
Yeah,
I think we should all be one big group.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I 100% am behind you on that. I mean, everybody should support everybody on. Get behind the Blades.
Earlier, get up earlier. Yeah, if I was single with nothing else going on, that would definitely be what I'd do. But
True.
Yeah, that's not going to be possible. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but my wife's going to be working from home and people will be in the house. So I'm just going to go to sleep in the middle of the working day. It's not going to be
not gonna
possible. Not going to happen. No. But yeah, the working hours are going to absolutely kill me. Not looking forward to them. Anyway, that's my problem, not yours, but you did ask. Jackie Long throw on the left-hand side, 82 minutes on the clock, and he's going to do another Jackie Long throw. It is long as well, and it's into the box, and West Brom can deal with that fairly comfortably. He'll need to work on those, though we've been saying that for a couple of years. Jackie's got the long throw. He doesn't have the Jackie accurate throw.
No. Although I have missed these long throws.
Yeah, I'd love to see them hit the penalty spot because he often throws them straight into the keeper's arms, and that's just a waste.
Yeah.
So... Noah speaking facts. West Brom looking to try and get something going forward. Basham looks okay. He's actually not. He's not limping. He's not been grabbing that groin that we saw in the first half.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be all right. I think he's going to be all right. Hopefully, we can't even joke about injuries this season because it's no joke. I mean, Rian again. The question, I guess, is it the same leg that went as previous? I think it was his right.
That was his. He grabbed his left, so hopefully it'll be a different one. We'll be okay. God,
Yeah, you can listen to me on the radio online, bfbs.com. Just click on radio, then go Cyprus. I'm not in Nicosia, quite far away from Nicosia actually, closer to Limassol, but it doesn't matter. I broadcast across the whole of Cyprus, and very sorry to hear this from Simon. R.I.P. Peter.
Yeah. Oh, it's a matter of right now us seeing this out 2-0 and no more injuries.
Yeah, the main thing is, I mean, Roy keeps saying it, doesn't he, on Blades Pod?
Mm-hmm.
No more injuries. He sometimes says, I'd take a defeat and no injuries.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go that far. But here's Ollie McBurney going to get that shot away. I know what you're saying. You wouldn't take a defeat. I think games like Coventry, those are the ones where you think, right, well, that was just such a waste.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing good came from nothing. You can't take any positives from Coventry. They're a crap team, and they beat us in a ridiculously annoying way, which was all our own doing.
Yeah.
Those kind of games are the ones you're going to look back on if we don't get promotion.
Yeah.
And then you also look at it as like, well, we've got so many players out. What can we possibly do? We have to change formation to things that don't suit the players. And then you come to a game like this, you play really well against a side on paper who should be a top six. And we're still going to be talking at the end of this game about injuries.
Mm-hmm.
It's not right.
No, not at all. Oh man, hopefully we get the ship righted. I mean, you would think
Bash is sorry to interrupt you. Bash is limping and his game is done. And this is what we feared. Bash is off. Ender is on. This is what I was talking to Chad about at half time, playing Ender as a centre back. So all 5'4" of him and Osborne, and that's the two of them with their heights added together. It's not going to be the biggest back line. Ahmed Hodzic is going to be suspended. Bristol City is going to be a patched up side again.
Because the camera angle I'm watching, it didn't show Basham have any injury symptoms. Do you think this is preventative, or
he was limping?
He was, because all it showed was Bash walking off the tuck off in Ender coming on. So I didn't see any of that.
It might be, when do you sub Basham? Unless there's something, I think, as well.
That's true. That's very true. Oh man,
Baldock as well.
I think Baldock was preventative.
Maybe preventative. It's just we just can't handle these injuries. You know, we know Bogle's not going to make the Bristol City game. Not looking good, guys. Should the Blades be strengthening in January for that automatic promotion push? You know what? If everyone's fit, we've got a massive squad.
Yeah, we'll have a huge squad.
Huge squad. So then you start strengthening, and then players are going to come back, and it's like, well, what do you do with all these? Then you got to sell.
Yeah,
it's a really tricky question. Really tricky.
Yeah, I don't envy anybody in January if we have to walk that tightrope.
Yeah. Norwood fancies a goal. We know that. Ball played to him on the edge of the box, and leaning back, should have shot it first time. Didn't. High wide, not very handsome. Yeah, didn't really see Baldock get injured, but he didn't look happy when he was on the bench, did he? When we had that double sub.
Man, we are really going to have to use the kids midweek. Oh, man. It's going to be one of those games we're just going to hope for a draw probably against Bristol City. And a team that have, honestly been in pretty good form.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure I fancy their manager, Nigel Pearson, as one that I'd ever want to see at the Lane.
No.
Yeah, if you think George Baldock was injured, let us know in the comments. Because, actually, this is a point that Simon makes here that I was going to say. Bash should have gone off earlier. Absolutely. If he is injured, Hecky's got a lot of explaining to do because he'll only have made it worse.
That's what I was going to say. And I feel like we've done that in games with players this season. We've left them out there way too long, and it's exacerbated the injury that could have probably kept them out a couple of games. Now they're out, 5 or 6 games.
Yeah, he took a knock. Thank you, Jack. Took a knock in the first half. Might have swelled up. Chance for West Brom. Good defending. Blades. Of course, Ollie McBurney, isn't he? Chad playing with a groin.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's got hernia.
Yeah, he's got a hernia, which I always think is like an old man's injury. But of course, if you've ever lifted a piano up the stairs, you can get one.
Yeah, my question is, what was he lifting that was so heavy?
Yeah, I mean, not weights, but look at his arms.
Yeah, right. He hasn't. That's what I was going to say. He hasn't been in the weight room.
If you're watching, Ollie, please, we love you. It's another chance for West Brom on this left-hand side. Ball crossed in and swung right across the face of the goal, looking to get any kind of touch on it. It's a poor touch on the right foot there from Furlong or Phillips. I can't quite tell at this angle. I think it was wide either way and out for a goal kick. Missed opportunity. Looking like they're a dangerous side, West Brom, but they can't put it all together. And I think Carlos Corberan's got quite a lot of work to do. And by the end of the season, I think we'll be seeing a very, very different West Brom. Probably the opposite of what we saw last season. Go the other way.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. Corberan's going to get this side turned around. It's unfortunate they ran into the Blades at this time. If they probably would have ran into a side, lower in the league. There's not too many more teams on worse form than we are, but on our day we can beat anybody with a much improved side. But yeah, I think this West Brom will be way further up the table come the end of the season.
Do you think Hecky will say afterwards when he's asked if this was a game for Cadra? Maybe, but he didn't get on, did he?
Yeah. Another game's gone by and here we go. Cadra's just sitting on the bench.
If you're on loan from a Premier League side to a Championship side, you're expecting to play regular minutes.
Yeah, almost every game.
He could be on the bench for Brighton.
Yeah, exactly. He could be doing the same thing at Brighton, but he's here, not contributing. He'll probably get a run out against Bristol City midweek, but that's all I can see. Put him in the game and let's get his rhythm and momentum going, man. But then he'll be the next one you add to the injury list. It's almost like a spreadsheet. You just slide over.
Cadra should probably go back to Brighton and probably will. If I was Brighton, I'd say, we're getting back, send him out on loan to someone else. Chance for West Brom, takes a little touch off Ollie McBurney at the far post for a corner. They are really upping the ante, looking to try and get back into this game. Always looks sparse at the Hawthorns when it's not full.
Yeah, those seats really do stick out when there's nobody there.
Oh, how? How is this not a goal? Oh, my goodness, Chad. Chances at the far.
I'm still in the build-up.
Just shocking amount of chances for West Brom.
Oh, how did he not do that?
Should
How did
be.
it not go in?
How did it not go in? Absolutely ridiculous. Chance after chance. How long is going to get added on by Dame Whitehouse in this game? Oh, man, how was that not 2-1? That is ridiculous amount of chances there. Crikey.
Bit of luck in our side.
It's amazing the Blade's actually getting a bit of luck.
Yeah, right.
And then a shot skied over. He hasn't put the minutes up, Chad, so you can have your guess.
4. I'm going to say it's 4 because it just popped up on mine.
Oh. You're honest. I respect that.
4.
Yeah, chance at the far post. Ahmed Hodzic clearing it terribly. And then the shot came back in. Horrible defending. Really ugly. Ahmed Hodzic, what was he doing? I think it might have been McBurney got in his way, but
yeah, I don't.
Really ugly.
The captain was there too. Billy was there. McBurney was there, and they just all kind of just were ball watching, honestly. And then Ahmed Hodzic goes to clear it. McBurney's there, and he clatters it into it, and then it bounces up. It was just a mess there.
I think that's my comment of the chat.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah. I mean, but honestly, we have almost literally parked the bus in the second half. We have done absolutely nothing in this second half.
Yeah, it's true. It's been a really disappointing second half, and Hecky will probably have to look at himself afterwards and go, right, we can't have this happen again. Whatever he did at halftime, it's not the thing to do again.
No.
4 more minutes, and the Blade's going to try and perhaps hit on the break during this spell. Maybe take it to the corner. Maybe try and get a third. Whatever they do, they've got to keep possession.
Yeah, we got to sustain a little bit of pressure in possession because we need to, don't have our defense just hemmed in our own box. We got to let them breathe a little bit. We're already dealing with enough. We don't need them to just be locked in our own box.
We've turtled in the second half. What does that mean?
Went into our shell.
Oh, superb. It's good humor.
It's good humor. Yeah. Yes, there we go.
Really good stuff. That's why you and Noah do this on the reg. We've got a couple of minutes left. As you can see, the clock here just ticking on. When that gets to 4, that should be when we're done. Refs always, though, it's a minimum of. So wait and see. Do join me as well for the match reaction. I'll try and remember as much of this game as I possibly can. My long-term memory is superb. My short-term memory, absolutely dreadful. So I will be pleased if I can even remember who we were playing in about 20 minutes when I do
it. Fair. That's fair. I'm right there with you. Long-term memory, good. Short-term, not so good.
Ask me about Port Vale away in 1996, and I'll talk about that for an hour. Ask me about this game that I'm watching still right now. No.
Yep. 100%.
No. Yeah.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah. Well, you've got a few years on, before you even get to my age, Chad. You've got all that to look forward to. Wait to get the nose hair as well.
Oh, I've got it. It's coming in bushels. Oh, yeah. It's coming in bushels.
Fantastic.
Thanks.
Okay.
Small trees up there. Oh, yeah. Small trees. Pulling out small trees.
Great. Right, we're 40 seconds remaining, as you can see, 20 seconds, I should say, remaining on the clock, and some really, really interesting defending from the Blades we've seen in the last few. I think they kind of got away with it rather than intelligently coped. It's been poor West Brom second half rather than good Blades. I'm just going to say that. I think we've sat back far too deep. And incredible that West Brom haven't scored. That's down to their poor crossing, down to their poor finishing. Just yeah. If only we used to give away stuff like that,
but no, more to your point, they've had the opportunities, but they just have poor finishing, and we just have let them go in amongst their business and do what they want to do, and we really haven't done anything.
Do please, let's have at least one super chat before we end it. It would be really, really helpful if we could. It would really support the channel. We are at full time, Blades, a 2-0 win for United. Chad, thank you so much for doing this. We witnessed a good one. Yes. Finally a win while I've been in Cyprus, which some thought would never happen. Now we just need to do it at home. Your full-time thoughts, sir?
Injuries. Just better first half and second half. Shut up shop, or as Noah said in the in chat row, we turtled it. Yeah, really didn't show anything in the second half, and then the key injuries to Brewster, Bash, and question mark Baldock. Curious to see what team we put out against Bristol City. Probably going to be a lot of kids in there. Cadra probably still won't start.
Scott's Point, big result, but at what cost?
Yeah, I would agree. So I don't know. I'm really, skeptical. And thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
You are
Let's
the
give
man. You are
Ben, man of the match, Ben Coles.
Yep, Ben Coles, man of the match for me.
It's all about it's a whole mood. It's the vibes. Ben Coles, really appreciate your support. And Ben already supports a lot with the channel. So it'd be good if you aren't already a member to help with a super chat. You can say thanks afterwards and help support us that way. Illyman and Dai's badge has fallen off his shirt. Great advert for Araya.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm skeptical about these badges on these shirts. Yeah, they are. You wash them the wrong way, they'll definitely come off, I bet.
Yeah. Yep. The thoughts of Chad, not necessarily Sheffield United way. Best channel ever, thanks. You know what? It is. No one's going to dispute that. Chad, I will let you disappear and enjoy the rest of your day. Your day is just beginning, sir. My day will be winding down to an end. It will start to get dark here in sunny Cyprus. Hopefully this isn't the last time we do this, because clearly we're good luck.
Yep, we are. I would agree. I want you. You're welcome back anytime Robert or Noah are not available.
I would love to do it. All the very best. Thanks so much. We'll speak to you again next time. I will join you, Blades, for a match reaction in, give me 20 minutes to compose my thoughts and, of course, naturally go to the toilet. I think Chad probably needs that as much as I do. Cheers.
Cheers.